It's kind of weird.
All right, we are live, and everybody needs to shut their pie holes of non-D&D related materials, to and including logging into my Wi-Fi and or giving out the password over the Twitch. Okay, so everybody, pseudo welcome. We're probably sitting through an amazing commercial right now that's going to sell you guys something.
So we could say the Wi-Fi password, and no one would know.
The commercial would know. And I don't.
And also when it gets put on YouTube, and then it's just kind of there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's
the
fair.
commercials on YouTube.
I forgot about that.
Okay, so for those of you who attempted to tune in last week, we thank you
And the
for going on a 20-minute journey with us, and then for those of you that stayed for the resulting hour and 40-minute slideshow that occurred afterwards. So we have moved to the south or to the north side of Arragas. We're a little bit closer to the boneyard now, which is a little creepy, but there's better internet here. So hopefully, so what happened was when we were in the south side of Arragas, we had really good internet. But according to our Twitch tools, it looks like our internet got throttled at some point, so we either exceeded the bandwidth or I don't know exactly what happened, but basically some automated machine somewhere with our internet provider decided that we were gobbling up too much internet and hadn't paid for it. And so so they decided to throttle us back to make sure that we wouldn't make that mistake again. And so we've got better, faster internet here. Hopefully we won't have another repeat of last week.
Sorry.
I'd like to take this opportunity to remind all my players to please turn down their phones. That would be great. After you're finished struggling with my Wi-Fi password, which is not that difficult.
Or before.
It's not. Some people got it on the first try, Amanda. I'm not going to say any names.
Hey, I had to rewrite.
But he has incredible strength.
Little caps are not.
Yeah. Here are my spells!
Did you notice your dice box is no longer bowing?
It's no longer bubbly.
Yeah, fixed mine.
We've taken some straight razors to a few of the dice boxes.
I can't help you.
What?
To attempt.
Well, just so you know, Sean,
Here,
he couldn't
so-
type it in twice.
So, no, you couldn't type it in twice. Ben typed it in successfully once and then not again on your phone, which probably has some sort of, fat thumbs.
I think we switched at some point.
I couldn't remember whose color was whose color, so I just stacked everything, and then when I pulled it all back out, I was like, oh, whoops. So, yeah.
I don't remember you having.
Green? All right, anyway, now that everybody's settled and situated, we'll do a quick recap of last week. Who would like to do the recap? Somebody other than me, maybe?
Did I take good notes?
Go, Julie,
I would
go!
love to do the recap last week.
We did some stuff.
You should have Liliana do the recap.
Liliana can do the recap, I think.
Okay.
In character.
Oh my god. Okay.
And then, this one time, this
This
guy,
is so
he
bad.
was getting
your
married,
phone.
but not really, because we're going to do something anyways.
Oh man, I wonder if anybody actually saw that. Because we were all throttled and stuff.
It was the week prior.
It'll be on. Oh, it was the week before. Yeah.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well. Let's
Are
see.
you putting in the periods? Is that what your problem is? You're not putting in the periods.
I am putting in the periods. I put in
Keep
all
going. I'm sorry.
the periods.
I apologize deeply.
It's okay. I don't know how comprehensive these notes are. Let's see, Kethra and I visit her temple to ask them to examine Pappy. They brushed it off. I send word of Ornitholus to arrange a meeting when I return. Let's see. Adele Castellani was at the guild hall and asks us to find his daughter Violetta, whom we hope disappear. Auguste Renaud is Olivier's father, and who they believe Violetta has run off with.
Okay, Auguste Renaud being the
The father of Olivier.
and the primary rival to the Castellani.
Right.
I literally, the next line is they are business rivals.
Well,
Jeez, Sean.
Who? I thought
Oh,
you
I know. I just
said.
wrote this whole story.
I thought you
Sean,
said you were letting Julie do the review.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, just curious.
So they believe Violetta ran away with Olivier. He believes Adele, her father, who comes to us for help, believes that it is a play to get ownership of her dowry and some of their holdings. We agree to find his daughter and go investigate the Renauds. The Palisade Guild stopped us when we went into the Richie Rich part of town to investigate. Tells us to be on our best behavior. We can't really get any information at their place, but after asking around, we get a description of him. I took no further notes, but we also found out that there was going to be a big party around the Renaud Estate in 3 days.
You don't know that it's at the Renaud Estate. You just know that
It's
it's,
on that side of
somewhere in Lower Puddington,
the nice part of town. Yeah.
which is one of the nicer parts of town. Yes.
In
And also happens to
The
be
pudding
where.
police will be on duty,
And then
making sure.
I'm trying to log into my
welcome
Twitch.
to
There.
Pudding Town, Pudding. You don't get like a little Wizard of Oz welcome when you. Thought that's how everybody was.
That's how I use
Stupid pencil.
Right.
it in my head.
I don't know. Maybe when you slam it
so
down
yeah.
your finger like that.
We're-
Oh, and there was
We're
some manual
investigating
labor that
Puddington.
Kethra engaged
Okay.
in that was. It sounded quite erotic.
Oh yeah, Kethra
The
dislodged a
No. No.
I did not take notes on that
a melted
specifically.
Snickers bar
'Cause
from
it is
one of the
gross.
breast flaps.
So we
one of the horribly old.
Ogden, the bondage. Yeah.
We didn't cast identify on that, so we were only assuming Snickers is a tasty treat
Yeah,
enjoyed in
it could-
Arragas.
Honestly, as often as she normally bathes, it could just be a cat turd that got lodged in there.
Oh my god.
Those
Okay.
aren't peanuts; they're mouse bones.
You are such a delight.
Thanks. So earlier, when you
Is it-
after you got finished chastising me on the
Pudding
internet,
town?
I wrote down Amanda is punished. So, I don't know exactly how that's going to show up in game, but we'll see.
Hey, I totally put in a good word for her.
That's right.
Yeah, it went.
Well, she
I
was
should have.
terrified that I was going to embarrass her
I
or
was.
offend somebody.
I just mentioned something about chaos is really what I was more worried about.
Right.
That was.
I feel like you
if I'm gonna be honest.
preemptively punished her for that with Agud Bagwich.
Yeah.
I
No,
feel like
this
that's
is a new one. That Amanda is punished is on the previous page.
Okay.
This is tonight's notes.
Wait a second. What's she getting punished for?
There's one on every
Not because Sean
Sass.
decided to interrupt you, and so I called him out on it. I wrote down. Amanda's punished.
All right,
Oh, very fair.
so we are going to move forward with hunting down Olivier and trying to find out if he knows where Violetta is. You guys know that he likes to spend a lot of money in the seedier parts of town, down at the Esplanade and also along the Strand. If you guys are willing to go that far,
I had some plans.
Well,
okay, let's hear him.
What?
I was just gonna say we may want to report in what we found to the.
Well, we haven't found anything yet.
Well, we know
And it
there's
is
an
midday,
imminent-
so we have all morning before
Yeah.
he's gonna be it.
But I'm also suspicious that that gentleman might be involved in this in some capacity other than what's been
The
explained to us.
Castellani's guard guy?
Yes,
Diggin.
Dagan. Yes. I'd possibly like to talk to him. Maybe not reveal too much, but kind of feel him out and see if he's involved in this. Piece
Feel
of-
him out.
In the affair.
However,
I thought he said feel him out.
No, no.
Okay.
Hear my own
Where was
microphone.
Diggin again?
whatever floats
Wasn't
your
it
boat.
like he's gonna be somewhere for like an hour a day or something?
Yeah, I'm supposed to meet him at the inn.
The Dragon's
The
Teardrop.
Dragon's Teardrop
Yeah.
at
For-
high noon to report my
Okay.
findings.
Yeah, we've got all morning then.
I'm not sure we're allowed in there, but we'll try.
Well,
You have been shooed out.
I
You
have
have
Hit
to
been.
throw rocks at the window, little pebbles, and then when he's
I'm
like,
pretty sure when
I'm-
they know that we're like ultra connected with super powerful people, they will unshoe.
Well, and the last thing they know of me is me giving them gold to pay for any damages. You remember? I gave the bartender gold and apologized and was
If I
super
recall,
nice.
it was some gold. but
yeah,
not-
they
It
said
was
they spoke about that
it was
and they
like
did not
$5.
care.
Yeah, I think
At all.
I think there were like more damages than what
Yes,
we
They
got. I
made-
think
they
that was like a
mentioned-
fourth of the damages, maybe.
I gave them like 5 gold.
they
Right.
mentioned it
For
was
like a glass.
not.
There was
Yeah.
stuff after that with
Right.
Violetta.
We apparently have a reputation for causing a ruckus.
That's what the real issue is.
Yeah.
Is every time you guys go in there, trouble befalls the tent. The
I've been in there a
tavern.
bunch of times.
And Granny and Winifred already
Four.
disliked you all.
Well, they just like everybody, so that doesn't.
That's fair.
Well, we're
but
I barely
classified
do
as rambunctious.
yeah,
I'm just
that's
guilty
not
by
the-
association.
Well,
That's not the word they used.
In any case.
Rats,
Yeah, that's not the word they used. Okay.
I had planned to. I swapped out some spells so that I could cast locate object on her ring.
Whoa.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bangrang, Rufio.
Which I do not know.
Sounds like druid
It's a hook
druid
reference.
trickery.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I swapped them out on here, but I don't have my cards.
Robin Williams, great movie.
So I do believe that's got a radius on it that is not super long, but it's. So we'll have to kind of like probably cast it several times in different areas to see if I can get a ping on it, to see
Well,
if we can find her.
It'll at least let us know if she's at the estate
Mhm.
or if she.
What was it called?
is
It wasn't Find Object?
gone.
Locate object.
Like a- she could be on. Keep in mind, these are shipping magnates, as far as I know. She could be on like on a boat or some other safe house location.
1,000
Eventually.
feet.
It'll be kind of horrifying if we just find her finger.
Which
Oh,
spell
God.
did you switch out for locate person or locate object? It's a level 2.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll probably need to
I
do it at the
switched out
docks.
several, so.
Well, here.
If it doesn't work there, we should go back to the Castellani estate.
In
I need to have a word
They're all right
with
here.
the gentleman at the
So
gate.
if you just want to give me the stack, then I'll pull them out as I need them.
Not quite pleased on how that went.
Well, you know, breaking in there is probably not going to work if we go through the front gate. I'm just throwing that out there.
No,
So-
no,
I mean,
I
I
won't be
can go
breaking
in.
in. You all can
Okay.
do
I could
as
do
I
it.
have a discussion,
Force.
a hearty
As a-
discussion, gentlemen. You all are free to
a rat
climb walls and.
or a butterfly.
I am quite hard to smuggle.
No one would notice the massive
Cat-like.
butterfly just floating through the estate.
Well, I can't fly.
I'm pretty good for a snuggle, but not great at being smuggled. It's pretty hard to get all the armor through.
Is that the Orleans family crest?
It is now.
It's the family motto.
Right.
Good for snuggling. not for
That's
snuggling.
almost
Right.
as good as your
We're snugglers, not
trying to
snugglers.
convince the whorehouse that you're such a devious person.
I
That
don't
was
think you
great.
realize there are many devious things I've done
I
over the
don't.
years.
Got
Good,
a tattoo of
I
this
found
You
rose
gave
checkered
Liliana
back.
that
Silver
amazing
coin and didn't look
fit
at
of
it.
giggles.
Mhm.
So, let's see. I'm all refreshed and awoken, and I can cast that like 2-3 times with a rest.
Mhm.
So, we kind of need to be in an area where we think she might be before I cast it because it's 1,000 feet. So, do we want to like maybe mosey on over to their side of town and like try to get to the mansion area?
You Lower Puddington?
Let's get right next to the mansion wall at some point because it's a sizable estate.
How
It is.
sizable is the estate?
It's 2 or 3 sizables.
You should panther onto the roof. and sit with the
Acreage?
If I could guess at an acreage accurately, I would say it's probably 40 or 50 acres
Well, I mean,
Oh,
for
shit.
the house and the
Dude, that's
outbuildings.
The Reynauds.
plantation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see the mansion when I went to their gate, but
Right.
but how far away is the gate from the mansion?
It's a walk.
So let's say I stick
Is
up
it
my
within
thumb and close
1,000
one eye.
feet?
Probably
I would
not.
say, let me
Third
think. Let me
crease.
think. So 1,000
Probably
feet is
not.
just a little farther than a football field, right?
It's
No,
it's
oh.
If you got 2 end zones, it's a little shorter than a football field. So the answer is no.
yeah. It's about half acre in length.
Well, could you turn into a rat and
So-
then cast it? Or
That's
no?
what I was asking for.
Oh, okay.
Assuming the estate isn't warded or against druids.
And I have 10 minutes after casting, so
And assuming that they allow rats to
Or
run around the estate.
you could turn into your sexy
unfettered.
kitty
You could
and waltz your way on.
I
you
would-
could fly 100 feet above it as a
No one
hawk.
noticed the black crouching cat.
She can't fly.
So
Fly
she
as a
can't-
hawk?
what's the
No, she can fly as a
smallest?
hawk. She can't
That's what I'm
assume-
saying.
What's the
she can't
smallest
assume
thing
any
you could
form
turn
that
into?
flies.
no telepathy.
What's
A
the
sea.
what's the smallest
Or
thing you could
cool.
turn into?
A spider.
Like a small insect?
She was a
Yeah.
centipede.
I could put you on a rock and then sling you easily, like a quarter of the way there.
Wonderful. You'll just throw me and I'll land and I'll splat
No,
and immediately
no,
turn
no,
back
you're
into
Gravity
right.
has no effect on insects. You
You'll
can
just
drop
float.
an ant from the Empire State Building and they land
Yeah,
just
that's
fine.
what I'm talking about.
I
Oh,
would say
that's
it's
kinda
like a 50-50
I
chance.
love how much science you guys are bringing. I'm
If I landed on the wrong side of that
gonna
rock,
make a note of that. Science is okay in a fantasy game.
You could float down a leaf, like a gentle leaf in the breeze,
I will most likely either be
and then turn into a goat and sprint the rest of the way.
maybe a squirrel if they have a garden, or
I assume there's lots of gardens.
we
It's a
will
pretty sizable acreage.
examine from the outside to see what sort of flora and fauna would be appropriate
To the
for me
manor.
to match.
All right, so you guys head back over to Lower Puddington. You begin walking around. Are you just approaching the manor and just going to run a patrol around the outer edge, or are you
Probably good.
I will
would
be
like.
very quiet, sneaky. I would like to stealth around and not be seen.
Ooh, me too.
I would
No.
like to hire a carriage.
Okay.
You be the distraction. Try to sneak right in front of me.
All right. So anybody else
Oh, okay.
got
Go
a
take my
plan?
broom.
So we got a couple,
I'm just-
couple sneakers.
I'm gonna go around
Somebody's
the
gonna go in a
outside,
carriage, and you're just gonna walk it.
I'm gonna walk around the outside and check for guards and weaknesses and security and stuff like that,
But there's
just in case we have to
As they
save
sneak
her.
Are
you.
you dressed up as a security officer or something?
No.
He's a paladin.
Well, no, I meant you're.
Yes, let's have him pretend.
Yeah,
He's
he's
city
he's
guard.
pretty. His paladin of give me armor is still really shiny. I don't think he's taken it off just yet.
Well, no, I
Still looks
meant.
so good in the sunlight. He's just
No,
like-
if you'll recall, I'm still wearing my vagabond black
Exactly.
tabard.
Oh, that's right. You did switch over
You
in
have
so
a-
that you could
that.
so that
Black,
you
or you
could
have your
hang out in
stuff
the-
with your
in
city
the
guard
houses of
badge.
ill repute.
Right.
Are there city guards in the area? Would it be more appropriate for you to swap over to your city guard stuff?
I don't have city guard stuff.
I thought you still had military.
I have-
He,
I do have
he
a
has his
military
old
uniform.
Millipole patch, but he is retired
Yeah.
from Millipole. That's why he doesn't have to take any orders.
I have an old military uniform, but I don't think I've worn it in 5 years. I might be a little too
Might not
hefty
fit
for that
anymore.
now.
Too strong.
Wow.
I have
we went
a-
right there.
I have a disguise
Kind
kit.
of
If
let
anybody
yourself
would
go,
wants to, I'm gonna get into my spruce goose gear. If anybody else would like a
I'd also have to buy a tower shield.
disguise.
I'm a priest of Ara.
I would like a disguise.
I'm okay.
All right, that's Arister. All right, I
Indeed.
I can sneak around.
Okay, so
Something in the way of a girdle,
think we
maybe.
did
here
deception.
are you disguising someone?
Arister.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So I
Go ahead
can
and roll.
walk around walls unseen. Well, seen, but
I'm just gonna slink.
17.
Okay.
There's no spruce.
And
in
what are
the
you
area.
disguising him as?
Yeah.
I'm a dirty.
What was? It sounded like he decided on something. So
how about a more upper crust city, not city guard, but more like a bodyguard type of person?
okay, I'm gonna have a
So-
carriage
Like Secret Service?
Somebody who
Like-
would
like a
look
security
like they
guard.
would be walking around checking things.
Well,
Like one of the
I'm going to have
A
this.
Palisade member.
I'm going to have a carriage.
Well,
so you
the,
could be
the
my
Palisade
bodyguard.
members were all carrying those big tower shields with
Right.
the Palisade emblem proudly displayed on the front.
Right. So
So
maybe
maybe
I
a
just didn't
private
bring
one?
my.
So
You can be like a
Well.
bodyguard.
you could probably dress up as just sort of a man at arms and walk
You
around.
could just
Yeah.
match Lucario, and you guys can be his bodyguards.
Ooh.
Sure, but I just don't want to get
'Cause he's gonna
accosted
be all
whilst
fancy
going
pants.
around the walls. So maybe.
And then you could ride on the bottom
Could
of
I
the
be like
carriage
a
and
Renaud
sneak in.
Sure.
guy, like security guard for his estate?
Do you want to be one of Renaud's men? You want to look like a
Right, but I'm
One
not
of
going.
his
I'm not going in the
arms.
building.
Were you gonna
but
say,
Yeah,
I mean, they'll know.
I'll look like
it's-
one of his guys.
They'll
well.
know it's-
You don't really know what his guys look like. I mean,
Oh, okay.
they're all just sort of. You haven't run into any of them in the Esplanade or any place like that. If that's
Right.
what you're asking, like if they have a uniform, if they have like a feather or they have a patch
Right.
or a sash,
I don't know
you don't know
what
what
it
that is. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But
But they're all mostly like normal, like undercover cops, basically looking.
well, I mean, I'm sure some of them, wear an emblem or something so
Livery.
that they can push people around. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you know who I work for? I work for Renaud. Okay, well, but with a good disguise role though, you look like someone who is not poking around.
Okay.
You look like someone who should be there, maybe patrolling, but or possibly just you're out for a morning walk.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Not
going to
the
disguise
show.
myself
Okay.
as a baron. I'm going to use pieces of my.
Baron.
That's,
Pieces of your what? Stagecraft.
oh no, terrible!
What did you roll? That
Inspires.
looks like a natural one.
It is a natural one.
All right. So you nail it.
Woo woo.
You look exactly like a foppish baron. However, you went a little overboard with the blush, and so you actually have those big pink opera dots,
Yes.
so that the people way in the back can see that you are flush with health. Okay?
All right.
Yeah, so imagine like those sort of turn of the century English, white wigs, powdered like
Yeah,
porcelain white, but then like blush, lipstick.
It's funny you say it because that's what I actually imagined my 20-year-old.
Yeah.
So I see that
Sadly,
Okay, yeah.
and immediately turn and walk towards Liliana to not be a part of the disguises.
Okay.
No powder for me.
You are able to hire a stately carriage for 2 silver falcons. And you can tell the carriage driver, like, just drive me around, this block, but don't look conspicuous. Don't look like you're not trying to look conspicuous. Don't look conspicuous. Drive
Drive a
casual.
carriage driver's seen some
No,
shit.
I think.
Yeah.
For hire carriage.
I mean, is he
driver.
an adult or?
The carriage driver?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
He's been driving carriage for rich folk like you all his life.
Uh.
He's no stranger to.
So it would be something
weird.
if I was like, "You there, boy."
No, he would probably
Thing.
doff his cap.
Okay. Drive me around, but don't be too conspicuous about it.
Sorry.
I'm just weirded out because it was
Buddy.
Buddy guy,
Excuse me, buddy.
hop in the carriage. It's me. I'm in a disguise.
Are you sure you're in a disguise?
Yeah.
The best.
I'll take your word for it. I myself know absolutely nothing about disguises.
Just refer to me as the Baron,
Okay.
Lord Baron, or Sir Baron.
You're
Okay.
really colorful. It's
I was
weird.
going to check the
Awesome.
walls, but excellent. I climb
Excellent.
inside the carriage
Excellent
after scouting
indeed.
around.
Okay, so
Um,
to be clear, the two of you are getting on the carriage, and then when the carriage gets near the Renaud Estate, you're going to just sort of drop off and start walking.
Yeah.
You're gonna ride around so that you can espy the estate from the carriage, and then if anybody stops you, you're the Baron and blah blah blah. Liliana and Kethra are going to attempt to stealth around,
I'm doing that.
and Macaria. So the three of you
Wait, you're.
are going to stealth.
I told you to try
I can
stealth
do this.
at the gate
Okay.
with this brick.
I
We're
can
gonna
do
solidify
it.
a plan.
Okay,
I can do it.
I think I got it. I think
can do it.
And
I
I will also look for weaknesses. Notice where the guards are.
I'm really good at stealth.
Is there a crack in the wall?
It's gonna be
Anything of
great.
that
Okay,
nature?
It's
okay.
gonna be great. You'll see.
all right, so I'll have the three ladies roll stealth rolls for me, please.
Oh.
I did not practice that roll.
I
which dice are
will
gonna treat me well.
touch Kethra
Yeah, I'm gonna need
and
it.
give you guidance. So
Okay.
wait, does that work?
No, it doesn't help.
Doesn't it help on the skill check?
What is guidance?
Well, it's
What does it say on the?
I have that one.
I think
saving
it
throw.
might
Give me
just
those
be a
spell cards
saving
first.
it's a
throw.
saving throw. Yeah, that was
That's
our.
the other one that's a skill
Nope,
check.
ability check.
Ability check is guidance. What's the other one called? Resilience?
Probably
Resistance.
resistance. Yeah,
Resistance.
it's a saving
That's the
throw.
one she has.
Right.
All right, so you get a +1. Is it +1?
No, it's a D4 to roll.
Oh, you get an extra D4 to roll to your skill check. So your dexterity
my-
stealth check.
So I do my disadvantage rolls, and then the lower one I roll this. And
Whatever
it's-
you get
right?
after your roll, you'll add.
You can roll a die 4 to it, right?
If you want to, or you can.
You know, you could just take off the armor and not have disadvantage to the stealth also. I was gonna
I
throw that
don't
out.
believe that Kethra understands that that's her problem. Like,
She
Yeah,
doesn't
but you're
believe
like
she
in the
has a
city
problem.
now, like you're in the city,
well,
and you're
that's
stealthing
true.
around in chainmail armor or whatever. Like,
Yeah, actually, no. I probably honestly wouldn't be wearing it because if we're doing this thing, but I don't want to take. What if we get in a fight? No, I'm leaving my armor on. Leaving the armor.
The carriage is armored.
I'm leaving the armor.
Yeah, there are chaos agents
I'm
everywhere.
leaving the armor.
Put it
on.
on
I don't
the
know what's
outside.
gonna happen.
all right.
I
It's
don't
your
know
choice.
what's gonna
It's Kethra's choice. She's
Okay, that's pretty bad.
That was even worse.
you got lower. All right. So what'd you roll total?
Wait,
We're about to find out.
Plus 3, that's
I got a 9.
Did you add your?
Dex.
Oh, I get.
And if you,
Oh, I got a 9, 10, 11. I got an 11.
That's above a 10. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
That's above a 10.
Okay.
Not
What'd you get?
too
Macaria?
far
Dirty
above a
20.
10.
20. And what about you, Liliana?
18.
Okay, so you guys approach the Renaud Estate in your various modes. Okay, the carriage makes it there first for obvious reasons. The two gelded silver horses are clopping along at a brisk pace. The Baron is sitting inside enjoying the morning sun and breeze. His bodyguard is posted up in what would essentially be the
Coachman.
the person who rides on the back and carries your luggage, like puts your luggage up for you. Like you're basically posted back there. As soon as you guys get near the Renaud Estate, you just sort of lightly hop off and begin walking
All
on
right.
the street. Nobody really notices. You guys make it around the estate. So mostly the estate is surrounded by a brick base and brick posts with iron gating in between the posts, right? So the whole estate, aside from 3 gated entrances.
Iron gating, that's how far apart? Bar to bar.
I don't know, probably, what is that, 5.5, 6 inches maybe? Okay.
It's important
that was very specific.
for me.
Well, sure, but I figured you just turn into a gnat or whatever, so.
I can't fly.
You can walk. You can walk up.
At least fly.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
sure
like
you
he
don't
jumps.
want to travel via sling?
Yeah, a flea jumps. Okay.
Throwing a rock
So,
into an estate of rich people that's guarded by a bunch of
Well,
fancy guards
They
might
can't,
not be a good idea.
they can't guard every inch of 50 acres. It's going to be a lot of manpower for that.
yeah.
There's going to be a blind
Also,
spot.
you guys are in a carriage.
Right.
You're not here.
Yeah.
I'm not in the carriage anymore. I hopped off.
But you're not
Yeah.
here.
And this
Yeah, but
is.
you're there before us.
You can't
Yeah,
fly.
the Baron and his bodyguard have made it to the estate before you guys have. You guys are moving through the streets and will begin stealthing as soon as you are within, 20 yards or whatever of one of the walls, of one of the fence lines. Okay. Okay, so you guys get around the entire estate. There's a road that basically around the whole estate. Some of the roads lead to other estates. Some of the roads lead down to a bunch of shops and sort of park areas and things like that. The gates are guarded by 3 guards each. One on each side of the gate, and then one guard that basically opens the gate for people who need to come through. That would be the guy that you talked to earlier, the guy who was like, no, you don't have an appointment. I would know if you did. Move on. Okay. And then the grounds themselves appear to be patrolled by 4 patrols of 2 men. And 2 of them move clockwise around the fence, and 2 groups move counterclockwise around the fence. So there are times when they actually pass each other. And during those times, there are certain areas of the fence line that have.
They're on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, they're inside. Yeah, they're inside the estate, walking the fence line. There, to your knowledge, to your observations, there are no breaks in the brick. There are no rusted out iron gates or anything. There's no place where you can just bend it and slip through. People wouldn't notice. Inside the estate itself, there are certain areas, like little copses of trees, but it's not forested. It's mostly grassland and cultivated like flower rows and flower beds.
Are there any trees close to either side of the fence?
Sure. Yeah, there are trees that grow right next to the fence in a couple places. Cool. On the outside, actually, when you get to one of the roads that sort of circles around, there's another estate, and it's almost like the 2 had come to some sort of an agreement where they allowed the trees to grow really high, and it's got one of those really cool sort of arboreal archways, right? And then there's like leaves and stuff on the ground, and it looks really beautiful. And so it's
pastoral.
Yeah, it's really nice. And if you were a squirrel or something like that, you could probably easily transverse either of the estates via branch if you were on this particular side of the estate.
Is there a single,
Rose? No.
In a glass
house? Or are there multiple structures inside this?
Oh, yeah, there are multiple structures. Now, obviously, the mansion is a single house.
Right.
But it's huge.
Can I see?
Is there a guest house?
Yes, you guys can see the mansion in different areas from the fence line, but it's not 1,000 feet from the fence in any regard.
So it's pretty far away, but
it's away. Yeah, it's a ways away. There appears to be some sort of a greenhouse. There appears to be some barns and some stables. There might be some kind of an arena, for the purposes of like riding horses and training them for hunts and things like that. And then there's what looks to be very clearly servants' quarters, but they're built more like bunkhouses almost.
Yeah.
So there's like individual buildings,
but
they're all mashed together. Yeah, they're all mashed together into rows, into neat rows. And, some of them have like little clotheslines out there and whatever else, but nothing too ostentatious that would detract from the beauty of the estate. Okay. So everyone notices this during their initial passing of the estate. When you come back around in your carriage, you're making basically the fastest lap. You see Kethra being chastised by the 3 guards at the front gate who are telling her, asking her like, "Why are you skulking around out here? And what are you doing? What are you doing out here?"
I pull out my alms for the poor, my box,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I felt the call of R today to come and collect for the poor. Do you guys have anything that you would donate to of R?
Sure.
I'd like to slow down a little bit, maybe not right by it, but I just want to make sure everything's cool.
So you reach up and tug on the little rope and the bell next to the coach driver. So he slows up a little bit.
Yeah.
You're calling my box.
One of the gate guards pulls out the one who's actually yelling at you pulls out a couple of gold griffins and drops them in.
Sweet.
Drops them in your
I'm
box.
actually really excited about
And
this.
then he says, hey, come over here, guys. And they come over, and he's like, this young woman is a priestess of Ara, and we all know how gracious Ara can be. Give her some money for the poor. And so the guys reach into their pockets, and they give you, probably 5 griffins between the 3 of them.
What?
And then they says, that he has the 2 guys go back to their posts or whatever, and he says, I hope that Ara continues to protect Arragas for many years to come. Now,
So wait, how many was that altogether? Because I really am going to give this to my church.
yeah, 5 griffins,
5 griffins altogether.
5 gold griffins, yeah. And then he basically tells you to get lost. You can go now.
I'm gonna say a brief prayer for him now and bless him
Okay.
and thank him graciously, and then I'm gonna try and stealth away.
Oh, wait.
All right, go ahead and roll.
That's just
Just drive it home. Maybe this is what she's doing. Maybe she's part of the process.
That was good. I got an 18. Damn it.
Yeah, it's like a nice one.
Okay. Wait a minute. I got
Now she
a 18. I got a 20. A dirty 20.
With disadvantage?
Yeah, I rolled an 18 and a 19.
Congratulations.
I know, right?
Good job.
All right, so
Disappears.
you basically a well-appointed carriage clops by slowly,
Yeah.
and you do that thing where you cut in front of them, and then when the carriage passes, you're gone, and the guards are like. And one of them says, "Oh man, we probably just got cheated by a common street thug." And the main guy says, "That doesn't diminish from what we gave to Ara in our hearts. The sin is on her."
There's no sin. I really am going to give this to the church.
They don't know that. You just
No,
hear
that's
it.
true.
Unless you pop out from behind the bush or whatever that. No, I'm going to steal from you. I'm going to give it to the church.
No, not going to do that.
Yeah. All right. You wait for them to stop squinting around, and then you sort of kind of roll a little bit down the ditch and you crawl off and get away.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the 2 of you make it around. Nobody sees you. The guards seem normally astute. I'll say that you're not. You have to sneak. It's not like they're completely oblivious or they're talking about what went on last night at the tavern. They are patrolling and looking around. You guys are just good enough to hide. You're taking your time and you're doing it right.
Can I look around, just sort of see if anything's jumps out at me, whether it's animals that I see inside there, or if there's any sign of what's her face?
August Bogwitch?
Yeah. She's right behind you.
Are you talking about Violetta?
Violetta. Yeah.
Violetta Castellani?
It's always trying to bring
Violetta.
I mean, and that includes if there's another house or a guest house or something like that might be being patrolled or something.
A little prison.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yes, some stockades in the back.
I didn't know if maybe
Big
they
barrel of
had
tomatoes.
a guest house.
a
But
little
she's
kerchief
staying
out the
in
window.
there.
It's obviously a woman's.
Or any preparations going on, or just
Yeah, so you don't. Okay, so that's a good question. You don't actually see anybody hustling around making preparations.
Okay.
You don't see caterers or a gazebo being erected or anything.
And the
like that.
event that we heard about was happening
In 2 days' time.
2 days' time.
So it's possible that the event is inside the mansion. It's also possible that they just haven't started preparing yet. Or option number 3, wherever the event is, it's not at the Renaud Estate.
Are there any service entrances?
Yeah, one of the entrances is a service entrance. Yes, there are 3 gates. Right, there's the main gate, and then basically the family gate, and then the service entrance.
Okay.
So, P.S. You will not get through the family gate. You have to be a Renaud to get through the family gate. So,
Uncle Baron? Is it not Renaud Estate?
No, Uncle Baron is
Terrible
especially not
news.
welcome.
I've been ostracized by my kin.
Okay, so I would say that you guys probably find a place where you could theoretically sneak on. And like I said, it's when the guards are passing each other. There's basically a weak point, like a thinner point in the patrol. But because of their patrols, that spot is constantly rotating and moving. So you guys would have to be very careful, but you could probably get through. Liliana, you have seen rabbits on the estate. You've seen squirrels on the estate. You've seen a couple dogs running around, but they look like they're hunting dogs, so they're not like just tearing around. Like they're actually trotting along with people. Wearing collars and such.
I don't have stats for a rabbit. However, I do have stats for a weasel, which I would assume would be similar, right?
No, but the stats might be similar, yes. But
That's
one
what
of
I
them
am
is like
saying. The stats would be
one of them is
similar.
like really fluffy, and his nose goes like this. Can you see that? Can
Maybe
you guys see that
add
in the
10-foot speed to a rabbit, but other than that, it's pretty
Well, the weasel is the only one that I could find that has 30-foot speed instead of 20, so that's why I figured it would be the closest.
Yeah, I would think a rabbit would move a little faster than 30 even,
So,
especially in short bursts.
Yes.
They can really
I
take
mean,
off.
rabbit would be a solid,
Yeah.
solid choice.
Especially
Molly
when
has-
chased by a weasel.
Molly has yet to get it.
Yeah, rabbits chased by weasels.
June has
The blurs. You can't even see them.
multiple times.
Well, okay, so you said the place where the trees
The whole internet
make
saw
the
that.
archway.
Mm-hmm.
How far is that from the mansion? It's not like 4 acres away, is it?
I
Is it
would
just off to the
say,
side?
yeah, I would say that it's probably so. The mansion itself is in the center of the estate,
Okay,
so everything.
so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, everything is.
Who are the
you know,
neighbors?
the
Do we know?
Beverly Hillbillies.
Okay,
Whatever
so
their
it
last
doesn't
name is.
matter.
Random rich person being.
Yeah.
I didn't
The
know
clover
if maybe they had a neighbor that was like a shop or something, or
No. Their estate is smack dab in the middle of a residential area. You have to go down streets to
Okay.
get to any shopping spaces.
Then I will. Okay. So I'm gonna turn into a rabbit, and I should be able to cast my spell.
I'm not there, Julie. I ran away. Who should be talking?
Are you?
Makari is
Because
there.
she was doing the alms thing. We're like,
Oh,
chase
I'm not there. You should be talking to Makaria.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn into a rabbit. I'm gonna go on in there, but I gotta cast the spell first, and I'm gonna have 10 minutes to see if she's in there. If she is, I'll see if I can smell, hear anything, because I've got really good hearing when I'm in that form. But I'm probably just gonna run straight back. If you hear me go caw, that means I lost my form because somebody stepped on me, and I'm gonna be kind of screwed. So, see you soon.
All right.
I'm going to cast Locate Object on the ring.
Okay.
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 Oh, thank you.
I was just reading it to see what it does. Sounds
Oh.
cool.
Yeah, I have to know what I'm looking for, but I do know specifically what it looks like, who it's on. all that
Yeah,
stuff.
you saw the ring clearly on Adel Castellani's hand.
Right, and I've met her before too, so I know that it's on her.
Right.
That it's just one that looks
Yeah.
the same. So it's not going to be like, oh, you locate Adel's ring. It's going to be for her. But
Thanks for preemptively DMing for me. I
No
appreciate
worries.
that. You find Adel's ring.
I'm just
Yeah, I got it.
clarifying.
No,
I'm not.
No, I got you. I got you. It's not a
concentrating.
monkey's paw spell. I get it. Okay. Go. All right. So you cast the spell.
I cast
Then
the spell, and before
turn
I
into
turn,
Okay.
do I sense any blips?
No.
No. Okay. I turn into a rabbit,
Okay.
and I will zigzag, and start
Okay.
making my way towards the.
So
This one,
I'm gonna keep an eye out if I see any birds trying to swoop on me, any people like knocking bows at
Hunting
me,
dogs that
T-Rexes.
aren't
Hunting dogs running around
Yeah.
everywhere.
hunting dogs, any of that stuff. I'm going, and I would have also seen like where are the trees and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right, so roll a stealth check with advantage. Oh wait, are you a floppy-eared puffy rabbit, or are you a
Field
long-eared, skinny, fast wild rabbit?
You're gonna be a jackrabbit, yo.
Long-haired, skinny, fast,
Okay.
dark
Okay.
colored.
Roll stealth.
Brown.
Yeah, roll stealth with advantage.
Okay. Well, I think if I'm using
Bunny fool.
weasel stats,
Mm-hmm.
then do these look appropriate? Stealth is +5.
What's your dexterity?
2
Let's go with a +4 then.
+4.
Stealth +4.
Okay, because I get.
Because you're faster than you are Heidi.
Okay.
You're running, right? Like I'm assuming you're bolting.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
trying to keep low. Avoid any people, dogs,
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay, so yeah, +4 and roll with advantage.
With
as well.
advantage?
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Natural 20, so 24. All right. So you are able, like basically you dart to and fro.
Towards
You
structures and paying attention to my blitz.
right. So you're running around searching for the ring, the family ring that you believe to be on Violetta's hand, the Castellani family ring. You do notice that the hounds have spotted you. However, they are highly trained and are basically just watching you, waiting for the command from their owner to hunt you down. But since the owner hasn't seen you, he's just like, walking along and doing whatever he's doing. But pretty much 4 dogs
Popeye.
watch you
They'll
run from tree to tree. Their ears are super perked, and they're like, but they're just trotting along next to their master. And at one point, you get in the bushes or whatever, and you think you lost them, and then one of the dogs is like, the other one's like.
Whatever. They can't.
All right, so you get to the mansion. I'm gonna say, so the mansion is probably shaped roughly like an H. I'll call it a lowercase h as well, so it's not, it's not 4 wings, it's 3 wings, right?
And I am stealthing once
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
to where I'm not like crossing the lawn.
Yeah, no, that's what you got a 24 on the stealth.
Well,
That's for the whole.
yeah.
It's for the whole shebang. Okay.
Cool.
So really, only the hounds are going to see you. No people are going to see you.
Okay.
All right. So you manage to get all the way around the exterior of the mansion, and you do not pick up. Your locate object spell does not pick up the object you are holding in your mind's eye,
Okay.
which is the Castellani family ring on Violetta's hand. Like you're imagining like sort of the whole package, like Violetta talking to you when she was
Right.
at the thing, and then you're imagining the ring on her hand. But you don't get any sense that ring is anywhere near you.
And I've been within 1,000 feet of pretty much everywhere in the mansion.
Yeah, you ran basically the outline of the H, so you covered. I mean, with maybe the exception of a few attic rooms, you covered the whole mansion.
Okay, as I'm going around the base of the mansion, do I hear anybody inside? Do I sense that there are people in there?
Oh yeah, there are all kinds of servants and cleaning staff and maintenance people. I mean, you slink past a few gardeners while you're scanning the house.
Do I hear anybody that
Groundskeepers.
does not sound like a servant?
You don't. You don't hear anybody just sort of talking about how rich they are.
Giving orders.
How awesome it is being
Yeah.
rich.
How
Man,
awesome it is.
I wish I was rich enough to sit there and be like, oh man, you guys. Being
I
rich
got
is really
Being
awesome.
rich is
So
really
much
awesome. Like,
I don't even know what to do with all my money.
God, I would do that.
All right.
If I was rich, that's what I would do. I'd sit around and talk about how rich I was and how great
Yes.
I was being that rich.
You'd
yes.
pay friends to listen to
I'd
you.
probably
Oh,
do
yeah.
exactly what Liliana does and not know what to do with the money.
Right.
Did you ever notice that 100 gold griffins weighs just a little more than 100 silver?
Falcons, yeah.
It's really heavy.
They weigh about the same, but one commands real respect. I mean, real
You
respect.
can really knock somebody in the head with this.
Yep. I bet if I threw this against
That's
the
more you
punch,
than Liliana.
it would really fly. Okay, so that sound means that it is time for us to take our break. So 10-minute biological break for our esteemed actors and our more than esteemed audience. Get up, stretch your legs, refill your drinks, whatever else you need to do, and we will resume this at 9 o'clock.
Prepare
And
for the
in the meantime, I will be responding to anything in chat and talking a little bit about. I think I've talked about the boneyard before, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to go into talking about the boneyard in Arragas, which is an extremely dangerous place that has been quarantined for everyone's safety.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna tweak
Hey, Jen.
my camera position ever so slightly.
Yeah. Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because you just moved yourself farther that way out of frame.
Oh, but I tweaked it the wrong direction.
Okay.
Okay.
What's funny is
There. How's that?
That's pretty good. Let me do it like this.
Oh, it's one of the hounds. Did you guys
There
hear
we
it?
go. Yeah.
One of my hounds wanted to get
There we
rid
go.
of me.
Okay. So hello to my 5 viewers in the chat. If you are able to and want to, why don't you say hello in the chat log, and I will talk about the boneyard. So. As those of you who've been watching our previous episodes know, there was a horrible battle in Arragas about 9 years ago, and hey, Aquachild, it's good to see you. I imagine there are some magic turkeys in Arragas somewhere, especially given the fact that tomorrow is the Thanksgiving holiday. So. Okay, so during the battle, this monstrous force of orcs and ogres and a few giants and manticores swooped down out of the mountains and attacked the north side of the city of Arragas. And they were accompanied by a monstrous black dragon that was basically just decimating everything in its path. Okay. The battle lasted for several hours. Well, it lasted for a couple of days, the whole battle did, but the main battle lasted for several hours, and at the end of that part of the battle, the defenders of Arragas were able to bring the dragon down, were able to slay him, and he crashed out of the sky and into a section of the city. And when he did, his body sort of exploded open, and a whole bunch of what they call miasma now spewed out of him in every direction, right? So it's kind of like a blackish green mist slash fog slash smoke. And the what adjustment are you attempting to make?
I want to put my head right in the middle.
You want to put your head in the middle? Oh, from a top to bottom
Top to
standpoint?
bottom, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty
That's
close?
pretty good, yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
There we go.
Okay, so when the miasma exploded out, it killed everything that it touched. I mean everything. Orcs and ogres and giants and humans, elves, dwarves, all town defenders, cats, dogs, everything that was in the blast was dead within seconds of touching the miasma. So the defenders who could escaped out of that section of the city, and fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you were before the battle, a large section of that part of the city was actually already behind a wall. And so the defenders were able to run outside of this wall and basically close up all of the gates. And then over the course of, the battle raged for another day as they cleaned up the last few skirmishers and attackers. And then over the course of the next week or so, that area was quarantined because of the miasma, and the last remaining parts of it were bricked up, were walled off from the rest of the city. Okay, and it is now known as the Boneyard because for obvious reasons, nobody could go in there and retrieve any bodies or retrieve any personal belongings or any. I mean, there's a whole section of the city that has a huge rotting dragon carcass in the middle of it and is just absolutely teeming with grotesque monsters and things that used to be sentient, loving persons but are now mindless, hateful, zombies and skeletons running around in there. And attempting to sneak into the Boneyard is punishable by fines and prison sentence, depending on how close you got to actually getting in. The penalty for coming back out of the Boneyard is death. You don't get a trial. You don't get to go to court. There is a group of Millipole, a specialized group of Millipole called the Iron Circle. It is their job to guard the walls of the Boneyard and keep anything that's inside the Boneyard from getting out and perhaps infecting the rest of the city with miasma, which everyone is pretty sure is a form of tangible chaos. Like you can actually catch miasma and it'll start to kill you and morph you into some nasty bloated tentacle thing, right? No, it's not a low-income housing zone. No. It was actually a really nice part of town, a very nice part of town. So there's a lot of unclaimed wealth in that particular area of the city. So despite the dangers and despite the laws and despite the Iron Circle and their efforts, there are people in Arragas who are willing to risk going into the Boneyard, treasure hunting. There's no grave robbing. There's no other way to put it. They sneak in there. They find some house that hasn't been looted or isn't totally crawling with nasty monsters. They go in. They take everything of value. They sneak back out. They sell all that stuff in the markets and on the black market. So there have been reports of people getting in and out of the Boneyard, but most of those reports are completely unsubstantiated. And if you ask any official people, if you ask Millipole or you ask any of the royal family or any of the lawmakers, they will tell you that doesn't happen. That's just not something that happens. So as highly skilled and respected as the Iron Circle are, they actually also have an elite branch within their branch. So like the elite soldiers of the elite soldiers, called Bedu Witch Hunters. And these persons are rarely seen, but when they are seen, it's always under extremely fearful circumstances because they are basically judge, jury, and executioner all on their own. They have a complete permission from the royal family themselves that if they find someone, if they locate someone and identify them as being an agent of chaos or as having any sort of chaos infection or any ties to chaos, they are able to sentence those people to death and kill them right there on the spot. And they are also given pretty much free reign to extend that out to anyone that they suspect might have been working with the agent of chaos.
Look at that! Bam!
Good job. Working with the agent of chaos and or exposed long enough to someone who had chaos to also be in danger themselves. It is rumored that Bedu witch hunters can just look at you and actually see your soul and determine whether or not there is chaos anywhere in you. That they have a magical sixth sense about it, and they can just study you for like 20 seconds, and then they know whether you have it or not. So, Bedu witch hunters are highly feared, and you will know a Bedu witch hunter because their faces are always painted. They always wear face paint, always. Some people actually think that they're tattoos because no one has ever seen a Bedu witch hunter without face paint on. So, all right.
Come on, slackers. We got games to play.
Yeah, Aqua Child. That's right. The number one problem with being a treasure hunter in the Boneyard is that if you are not very, very careful, you get chaos. You catch chaos. You get the miasma is actually sort of a light fog now that permeates everything. But there have been sort of wives' tales / children's stories of living miasma that moves like a smoke bank or like almost like a blob, and will, when it senses people around it, it will actively move through and through things and over barriers to try to get to the people. Not like the movie Mist, but because the mist itself in that movie isn't dangerous. It's all the things that live in the mist that are dangerous. So in that regard, yes, the Boneyard is like the mist because if you're in the Iron Circle, you can actually stand on the walls and you can see one of the giants from the battle still roaming around in the middle of that section of the city. And he is rotted and decayed and grotesque. And he just wanders around in there aimlessly. Every once in a while, he'll attack something, but nobody knows what it is because none of the Iron Circle are going to go in there to finish him off, and they're certainly not going to go in there and risk getting miasma, breathing miasma in. So, okay, we are still waiting.
Does this negate my punishment?
On players who are now officially late.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, huh?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah,
Went
huh?
off. It did.
I'm right here.
It went off.
I wasn't the last.
It's like we're T minus
Okay.
-3 minutes right now.
Yeah.
Can you do a test follow? So
We're talking
we can see?
Can I do a test follow? Do I just click this test
Go
widgets?
to dashboard.
I want to see.
Go to dashboard. Okay.
And then.
My video disappeared again. Why does it keep doing that?
Maybe.
Get out.
Are you sure it's not just this button here, test widgets?
That works.
Video.
All right. Well, then I'm going to go back to the editor, and I'm just going to click test widgets. Bam.
And then follow.
Follow. All right, everybody.
Yay!
There's the
They can't
follow
see it yet.
icon.
Right.
So if I get a new follower during the show, that little sheep will pop up and let us know that
Hey, Beautiful finally
that we are
joined the picture.
being
Well, it's supposed to.
being followed.
I unfollowed and refollowed, and it didn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if it's because we were just following and maybe it has
Maybe.
Yeah,
new
maybe.
followers.
That sheep is fantastic.
One of you
I
guys.
thought so
Love
too.
it.
He was overruled whenever we did our test stream earlier.
I don't get
you don't like it.
overruled.
Yeah, you.
Nothing says dirty
Someone who is
food
not
like-
allowed to have a vote
An adorable
took one
sheep.
anyway.
Right.
Took one anyway.
An
Okay.
adorable.
Was
dancing
it
guy
Nikki
sheep
who took the
is
vote?
not-
Who said it was great?
Brian Clemmer.
Oh, well. His opinion matters like 3 times as
Yeah,
much as
maybe.
anyone else's.
Not as 3 times as much as the
He
end.
was helping us.
All right. So, you guys
But Brian was
are huh?
I missed Brian.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's true.
Maybe.
You did. And
He helped
I
us
wish
with the
I wish
second
you were
half.
watching the show right now. That'd be really cool. But I think he had to watch the baby instead. So
Yeah, I had
he's,
to watch his baby.
he's being a good dad. Can't fault him for that.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
I get faulted all the time.
So yeah. Depending on who you ask. Okay, so you guys
What?
wait for Liliana the rabbit.
Oh, I have a couple things I wanted to do.
Okay, listening.
Rabbit things.
You did say that there weren't other structures that were houses. They were like sheds or something like that, right?
Yeah, but there are servants' quarters, which are like little bunk houses. So instead of the servants living in the mansion or the servants having their own 2-story mansion where all the servants live, they literally have their own private efficiency cottages.
Did I pass by there?
Sure.
Did no pings, right?
Nope.
Okay. Then
Check
obvious.
the prison.
Since it is obvious to me that they are not here, what I will do while I'm here is listen in on any conversations. I want to know if anybody is speaking, either just around. If anybody's talking about dealing with any merchants in town, any events coming up, just any sort of chatter. I want to just sort of listen and see if I hear anything.
Okay, roll a perception check.
Okay, which I do with advantage because of my bunny skills.
Are you sure? Didn't you say you were... Okay, I guess maybe that's...
If we're using the weasel for the bunny, it said it gets advantage on smell and hearing. I do have giant ears.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll allow it. I'll allow you to have giant ears.
You told her she had dang ears.
Yeah, you
I
said.
said
I asked her if
long
she had big floppy ears, and she said no. She was the fast rabbit with the smaller ears.
Well, no, they have big. They're just regal, and they
hair.
stand up. And,
Yeah, but they're also shorter.
Next
That's
game,
why they still stand up.
we're going to have a comprehensive analysis of bunny statistics.
Well, this is why I gave her advantage on the
And
stealth roll
various-
instead of, and then I figured she'd just roll a regular perception roll.
I mean,
That's
the,
fine.
the,
Various
the rabbits I
bunny
see out in the
sizes
forest, they have like a
shapes.
I do-
regal bearing and
do-
know,
I think I
stand a little
use.
taller than floppish.
Okay, wait. Animals,
Bones.
physical stats, my
Mental.
mental,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
So it's my modifier.
Wisdom. Yep. Sure. What wisdom to
Right.
perception. Plus any proficiency bonus if you have if perception as one of your.
24.
Okay. You overhear some guys talking about how hard it is to have sex in the cottages without other people hearing.
Brutal.
And you overhear a gardener talking to a groundskeeper about some new flower bushes that are coming in, and he's really, really excited because he thinks the lady of the house will appreciate the subtle pinks in the petals. You overhear some of the kitchen staff talking about how people better not just, take a different plate every time they get food at the event this weekend. You overhear a gate guard talk about how someone with way too much makeup on has passed by all the gate that he's guarding like 3 times now and hasn't stopped yet, and he's beginning to think that it seems a little fishy.
Said not conspicuous.
You let's see. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Everybody else is just talking about really boring stuff.
Okay. So I will make my way back over to Mercaria.
Okay.
You're still on the outskirts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll make my way back over.
Okay. You meet up. Kethra, have you met back up with Macaria? Okay.
And I like snuck back around.
All right. So
My only good stuff.
when you come around for pass number 4 or
I'll give you a
whatever,
high
you
five
start
for-
to see some of your companions gathering. It may be time to compare notes
Okay.
soon. You haven't seen Arister yet.
Okay.
Arister's got a long road.
Yeah, Arister's walking the entire circumference of the estate.
Have I seen him on any other passes?
Oh yeah. You pass by him.
Oh,
And he's He looks like he's patrolling.
When they were discussing the flowers, did they mention a merchant or a name or anything?
Nope, just that there were particularly pink flowers that were coming. The subtle pinks in the petals would impress the lady of the house.
Okay.
Gardeners are boring.
Well, apparently
Well,
not.
they talk
If
about
they're
money.
like all complaining about their sexy times.
That wasn't the gardeners. That was just two.
Yeah, that was just two of the housekeeping staff talking about. having
Gardeners have no
photos.
problem with their sex noises, apparently.
Yeah. Quite.
They do it in the bushes.
Okay.
Gardeners
Don't
gardeners
have to worry about a creaky bed.
Gardeners do it with both their thumbs.
Go in the bushes.
Let's
About the pink
jump
roses.
this
She'll like the
quickly.
pink roses.
Okay, so I will make my way back over to Macaria and Cathra apparently, and drop form and tell them what I found. Okay, she's not here. The cleaners say that the house is really bad to have sex in because you can hear everything. But anywho, there's new flowers coming. They're gonna be pink. I bet they're the little roses, you know, like the little baby ones, the way they were talking about, and I bet they're gorgeous. I love little roses. Have you ever had little ones? They're
I'm gonna
so
pick up
cute.
Aristir.
Anyway,
My eyes are blind.
The carriage approaches.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bell tingles.
Oh, and the kitchen
I'll hop
people
on
were
back.
talking about food this weekend and hoping that people don't take more than one plate. So it didn't sound like it was going to be here, but maybe it is. I don't know. They're going to have like an event this weekend, so
An event this weekend sounds promising.
yeah. So, I mean, that's what we heard before is that something was going down in 2 days. So, but yeah, they're not here.
Okay.
She wasn't in any of the guest houses or anything like that. I don't even think any of the like important people are home. So maybe we should check somewhere else.
Maybe like the docks.
Yeah, I mean,
So I happen to know that like merchants form some really like solid bonds with each other that like deal with each other a lot. So maybe like if we found some people that they do business with often,
Okay.
there's flowers
there's
being
probably
ordered.
gossip has been had, and maybe we could get like a whiff of something.
Yeah, we could check like the nursery
Where's the nearest haberdasher?
or a hat. Maybe.
It's down
I mean,
Versace and Sons.
nursery probably would be more appropriate. I'm pretty good with like gardeners.
Can talk flowers.
I
Oh
totally
my
can.
Yeah.
All aboard
All right.
the carriage.
Oh,
I've got this
We pulled out.
for another 12 hours.
And like totally don't go past
Let's
their
enjoy
front
it while
door
we
again,
can.
Vesper, because they're starting to like think that you're a little weird and sketchy.
Who's Vesper? This is the Baron.
That is right. That's just right.
Hear what?
I
Where did
am
the sudden
Baron.
German accent
I
come
am the
from?
Baron.
Baron Otto.
Baron, you have a little too much clown makeup on. But yeah, don't go past them
This
again
is not
because
a
they're
problem.
starting to like understand that you're like passing by too much. So,
Otto
To the
von
nursery?
Schwag.
is there a nursery over here? Do I know?
You don't know, but you do know that you guys all pretty much know that down a few roads there's a whole area of shops.
Ding, ding, ding.
Are you suggesting
Driver,
that
take us to the nursery.
the plant salesman will have more information?
Well, they are going to be delivered. She said something about talking to the merchants.
People they have constant business like that deal they deal together often.
And they were talking about getting new flowers in for the garden, so maybe it's the like nursery that they use all the time.
I see.
So maybe they'll have some information, or maybe we could possibly impersonate one of them to get on the grounds if we need to this weekend.
Well, if they are having a big to-do, then
We should probably like,
they'll have some sort of floral arrangement.
yeah.
I've been to one or two of these in the past.
Yeah, see, I still don't know if it's going to be at. Did
When you were up to no good.
when the kitchen staff was
No.
talking about the catering or whatever, the event this
I'll have you
weekend,
know, my father
did
was a
it
general.
sound as if it was going to be at the estate or no?
They didn't actually say that,
Drag
but you
along
got the
the
impression
I
that
could use it.
they're not going to cater anything. That the kitchen staff is going to be responsible for feeding everyone.
So it appears that it's going to be at the estate.
Either that, or they're moving the kitchen staff to wherever the party is.
Okay.
Do we know what line of business they're in, the Renauds?
I thought it was like
They're a
everything.
merchant family.
Yeah, they're
Like
like
the,
shippers.
just like general merchants?
Yeah,
or
they-
do
they
have, like,
own-
specialty.
No.
Ship stuff, buy and selling.
The families, when you get up to the level of merchant that the Castellanis and the Renauds are, they don't work boats anymore. They
make a
own all the
fingers
boats
and
and they own all the
merchandise.
warehouses.
They're
and
vertically
they-
integrated. Like
Yeah.
there's no rules against
So-
monopolies here.
Right. So they
They own the grain
they
factory.
basically ship and transport whatever is most profitable on any given period of the year. Right, so they probably both have their hands in the fishing industry. They probably both have their hands in all the shipping, river shipping up to Wenhaver and back down. They probably have warehouses in Wenhaver.
farming. Probably they probably
They're
own commercial
mining.
farms
They,
or whatever.
they're connected. You know, they basically, you know, their money works for them.
Do they have
As
any
opposed to them
offices?
working for money.
I think I asked this like 3 times in 3 different ways and didn't find out. So, do they have an office or something? I thought you said. Down by
Yeah,
the
I would say that there's probably some sort of an official business headquarters where all the employees
The
gather for
accountants.
paychecks.
All
and
accountants.
things like that.
It's the
Yeah.
counting. Their counting house probably.
Yeah, they probably
They
have some
keep
sort
all
of.
their
Well,
shipping ledgers.
Yeah,
and
because
crap.
where I was going with that, it's not people, like, it's not merchants that they would purchase things for their own home with necessarily. It would
Yeah,
be
like
people, like their
friends.
businesses are together.
We could bust into a accounting house and see if we can look through their books. Do we know any accountants?
I think that might get back.
Is
to
there
them.
an event planner?
You don't know any.
Math is not my strong suit. So,
Yeah, we've learned that our.
is anyone else capable of doing that?
I'm not really good at breaking into
Nope.
things, and as a priest, I probably should.
I'm good at
I'm
plans.
well-
pretty good, but I like disguises better.
Well,
I'm good at those too.
I can also cast this 2 more times, so if we can find a lead on where she might be, that would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should. Is there like a fancy inn we could check, or
I'd like to ask my driver if there is an event planner in this part of the town. Lower Puddington.
He squints one eye, then he squints the other eye. He says, I don't know. What sort of an event?
A wedding.
A wedding?
Who would we go to see about that?
Don't women folk normally plan that stuff?
Well, that's why I'm hiring. I'm hoping to hire
Our
one.
driver is very insightful.
Well, I mean, when
So the other people you
why don't we just go to the merchant section?
that employed,
Yeah, well, I think we should check.
have they ever
around
gone anywhere
Check the
that might
dress shop,
the
the
that might be
flower
for
store.
planning
too. We should
various
probably check around the
events?
well,
It could be. She could be
Or a
kept in a
florist.
slum.
Yeah,
I don't-
I mean, down
I
in
don't
Some
wanna,
kind of
like-
safe house.
Let's check the florist.
yeah, there's a flower shop a couple streets over from here. I'll take you there. And now that I think about it, it's right next to a hoity-toity tailor, but I've never been in there. I mean, they've got a doorman who, you know,
Dress.
he doesn't really let working class folk in. But as far as the wedding thing, didn't your wife like tell you what to do and stuff?
Can we go to the merchant area, sir?
Are you married?
I think
I'm sorry, miss. I'll let me help him first, and then I'll be glad.
I think
to the
you've
merchant area.
given us a lot of good places to begin this process. Here's a tip for your
streets
useful information. I'll give him 2 copies.
I hop out and start walking.
Oh, gee, thanks. He
Yeah, I never got
Let's
into carrot.
head to the
puts it in his little belt
Like-
pouch.
send to the
Way
florist
too much
and
hassle.
tailor.
Way too much hassle.
I'm walking.
Yeah. All right. So he trots the carriage.
I'm riding. The summer's heavy.
See you there.
You guys eventually pass up Liliana, who's skipping along on the street, making good time.
I'm pretty quick.
I'll
He
cover
takes
my mouth and little street riffraff around here.
street elves are the worst.
Oh, terrible.
All right, so he eventually pulls you up in front of a florist, and it's you can't see a name anywhere, but they have like really expensive like gold filigree on the glass storefront, and there's just like this mural of flowers across the top of the building.
Okay.
He says, "Here it is," and then he kind of nods over just across the street, and there's it's the one I told you, the Versace and Son
Okay.
tailoring,
Oh.
and they do in fact have a doorman, and he looks huge. He's just standing there. He is very smartly dressed though. I mean, we're talking cutting edge fashion.
All right.
Tall hat, tight pants, like get tighter around the knees. It's all the rage.
Okay. All right. I will step into the florist.
Okay. You guys get out of the carriage. The carriage trots away. He kind of pulls a U-turn and rides a little ways back up to you and says, "I can take you down to the docks now if you want. I've gotten rid of my fare.
The merchant area is what we're
He was a
looking
nice
for.
fare."
Is the merchant area in the docks?
No.
No.
Oh,
The
you
carriage
want-
is
She
just
said
pulled
the
up in
merchant
front of
area.
you.
Oh, you want like the business district? I can take you there now. I got rid of my other fare.
I'm good.
All right, suit yourself. He trots
Like,
off.
didn't he hire him for the day?
Yes. He'll be back for me though.
Weird. Anywho.
All right, what are the rest of you doing while
Skipping
he
on
walks into
over.
the florist? Are you guys also going into the florist?
I guess I'll go into the tailor shop.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to get into the tailor.
I'm
Although, for some reason, I've always really liked that word. It just rolls off the tongue.
Tailor?
Tailor.
Yeah.
Just rolls
Yeah,
right
it
off
is.
the tongue.
Lovely.
People who are really good at needling
Lovely.
I'm
and needlework
with
and just
Macaria
needlessly
and Cutler,
needling.
right? Did you walk with us or did you take the carriage?
No, I took the carriage. I
Okay.
took the
Yeah.
carriage.
That's cool.
And then you jumped out, and I was like, oh, well, okay.
Got
all this leg
room
All right. You go into the who's going into the florist shop?
I will.
Okay. And then the two of you are going to go into the
Yeah, because
tailor.
I do not trust.
I wanted to look around the market
Okay.
square first. Though.
Okay. You
There's a
see.
tailor, a florist. Is there any other?
You see a siren's call. It's a coffee place that sells elven coffee.
Okay.
Oh my god, I go
It's,
there right after
it's-
the tailor.
It's very, yeah. It's so it's they sell like almost exclusively elven flavors, and which is really weird to you because elves
flavored
don't
like
really.
Or
No, it's like
It's like berry
it's like
juice.
mulberry, acai, and hint of lemon, like essence of water, right? They give you like a separate cup that's just sort of wet on the inside. There's not even a single full drop of water in there. It's just essence of water. And people pay top prices for these coffees, but which confuses you a little bit because elves don't really dig that stuff.
Yeah.
It's sort of you're kind of like
I probably
I've never-
will get really excited and wonder if they have elves in the coffee when I hear that it's elven coffee.
yeah.
And get a little confused, and I'm probably gonna
Flavors.
hate it.
Sprinkled on top.
Yeah, there's like you can get like a half bark, double pine needle latte.
Okay, so random comment. I wish I was making this up, but in like a week, Starbucks is launching a pine tree latte. That is
What?
not a
Oh,
joke.
okay.
That is not a
That sounds
joke.
like does it
Um,
taste like an air freshener?
I won't
Tastes like
taste
the
it.
inside of a
I
taxi
won't.
cab.
I won't drink it. I won't drink it.
You're
That's
an okay.
I
horrifying.
won't drink it.
Like those pine trees you
Those
buy
pine trees you
and
buy.
hang from a mirror.
But you heard it here first, folks.
Essence of So Starbucks bathroom.
Okay, so for those of you who head into the floor, you go inside and the place is practically buzzing, right? There are just, first of all, you're really impressed because there are literally flowers of every color in here.
The flower shop?
Yeah, the flower shop, right?
Okay.
They've got flowers of all different sizes and shapes and colors. I mean, they're really, there's a huge assortment, and you guys have probably never seen this many different flowers in a single place before.
I may have.
Are there any?
I don't know, in a single place? I mean, unless you count like the wilderness as a single place, yeah, then sure.
Well, but no,
But I mean, like,
druids are
you know.
going to have like some people that like have gardens. And
Right, but your gardens are tended to look natural, so you're not going to take like things that grow exclusively on the mountainside and put them next to flowers that only bloom on the beach.
well,
You would have beach flowers and flora and fauna in this area. And
I would imagine that it
but
would
in
be
this
more
place-
herbs and stuff, but I'm sure like
there are no herbs in here. All
Or
flowers.
Alchemists.
alchemists would actually like have little herb gardens and stuff. Right?
Yeah, okay. Also, the second thing that you notice in particular, Liliana, is that in the back of the store, there are several bushes with a 5-petaled, vibrantly pink flower on all of them. There's about 7 of these bushes just sitting in the back, sort of up on a little stool, but their roots are wrapped in like burlap sacks, and you can tell that they're being carefully watered and that there's very rich soil in there. There's a woman there and a man who are both bickering with each other over, where should we put these, hibiscus petunia hybrids. Do they go over here with the hibiscus, or do they go over here with the petunias, and why do we even have this sort of a classification, and who thought it was a good idea to spend money on these, and I don't know, who thought it was a good money? Hey, how are you? Good day, sir. Are you here to purchase some flowers, maybe something to spruce up that drab outerwear of yours? Well, I'm talking about something that really draws the eye, really catches the eye, and sort of draws it away from,
He's colorful enough.
The face.
Well, I
Does he need
need
more?
some advice, I guess. I have a very important wedding that I'm attending for friends.
Man, I guess
family.
it's that month. All kinds of weddings coming up.
I need to match maybe the color scheme of the place, and I was looking for something maybe I could put on my lapel or wear on my person.
Sure, yeah. No, I mean, we have all kinds of flowers here that go with all kinds of formal wear, all different occasions. What is the color scheme?
I believe you might be supplying the floral arrangements, and I figured I would drop in and get
A perfect match.
a perfect match.
Okay. So which wedding is it?
It's the Renaud wedding.
Renaud wedding, and he looks at the woman, and she's Renaud wedding, and so they go over to a ledger and they flip through, and they're like, "No, I mean we don't have a listing for a Renaud wedding. I mean, the Renaud's gardener came by a couple days ago and said that he needed those bushes over there, so we've gathered some from around the city, and they're willing to pay top dollar, but they didn't mention anything about a wedding. I mean, I hope they're not doing a wedding. It would be a shame if they didn't.
What is a common wedding color? So let's say
white
in this month. Are there
in
any
the butter moon?
Yes, so they
It's
use butter moon.
It's pretty much the same. White for
cups.
the bride. Are there any butter moon cups?
I don't know flowers. Yeah.
Well, is it? Do you know if it's a night ceremony or a day ceremony?
I
I mean,
mean,
of course, that will change our options.
Do I remember when
They never mentioned whether it was in the day or the night. They just said
That's
that
a
there's
big
some
one.
sort of an event coming up on Aldeguda.
Okay. Well,
It's in the late afternoon.
late afternoon.
And it may draw into the evening.
Dusk-ish.
Okay, so he sort of looks around and he says, "What color of will your outfit be? your ensemble?
Royal purple.
Royal purple. Oh yeah, that's easy. That's easy to match. So he pulls out a bunch of white flowers and a bunch of gold flowers and like one that's like red with kind of a red stripe out of each petal. And he throws them all together and he's like, and he sort of fans it in his fingers. He doesn't actually attach it to your lapel, but he holds it up next to your lapel and you guys stand in front of him and he's like, look at the gentleman. Look at that gentleman. That's the kind of gentleman I would attend a wedding with right there. And if I wasn't attending with him, I would certainly leave with him. No? Okay. And then he pulls it down and he grabs some more flowers. The lady comes up.
I'm getting mixed signals.
The lady comes up. She's got a different arrangement. She puts it actually up on your shoulder, like instead of down on your lapel, like it's much higher on your shoulder or whatever, because some of the leaves are sort of wispy and they hang down. And she's like, imagine this when they release the turtle doves.
Those
are
are
there
those flowers
turtle
that
doves?
attract flies. Let me see.
They have been known to attract flies, but it's kind of late in the year for flies. Okay, it's fine. I will come up with something else. The guy comes back over, and now he's got like basically this yellow thing that's got like hundreds and hundreds of like spiny leaves. And he says, this says, look at me, but don't mess with me.
Okay.
See, it's very, it's aggressive and yet defensive at the same time. It's talks. I mean, you strike me as being
the going
of
range
minor
for, let's say, single versus dozen, in case I...
Well, I mean, a single flower would depend on the flower, and then a dozen of them would be about 12 times that much.
Oh, okay.
I mean...
That's alright. Anyways...
He looks over at one of the employees who's giggling in the corner. Don't you have something to be organizing? Excuse her, she's not accustomed to working with persons of low nobility.
Man, why don't I have Drew?
You did say you were a duke?
Baron.
A baron. Oh, a baron. Oh, a baron. Oh, this flower's trash. And he just like throws it on the ground. And then he walks off. And the wife comes over.
So I could just
and she's basically just got like a white daisy.
Okay.
She says, simple, elegant, understated. You are the one who will bloom.
I'm rolling my eyes so hard.
I have nothing in my face.
I imagine I'm visibly enjoying this.
Yeah. Your heart has grown 3 sizes too big already.
Yes. I'm in my element now.
Yeah. This is clearly where I'm giving up adventuring, everyone. I'm just going to become a florist model.
All right. Yes. That sounds great, but. All right, I'll take it.
Oh, great! So they say when is the reception?
It is about 2 days from now.
Oh, 2 days. Oh no, this will be wilted and gone in 2 days. Either come back or we need to pick something sturdier.
Okay, I'll probably return.
Great. We'll have some of these freshly clipped the morning of Alaguda. Come in as soon as any time after Tierce and you shake it. Excellent. And your friends are... And she kind of looks at Liliana, who's already covered in weeds and some sticks and stuff, and she's like, hey, your friend? And then she looks at Makari and she's like...
He's touching the flowers too hard.
We'll see you on Alaguda.
Right.
But ta-ta.
All right.
Please don't touch anything you don't intend to buy. Thank you.
Just a note for next time, if anybody would like to look at the books while I have the patrons hemmed up.
Oh yeah, you clearly saw them go over to a specific ledger and open it up to see what all the events coming up were going to be.
Okay.
And they did not have anything listed in there under Renaud wedding.
Okay.
Or at least that's their claim to you. Okay.
I was looking at the bushes.
Sure, the ones with the pink flowers.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Do I know anything about them?
Yeah, they're fairly rare. They tend to bloom in wetlands and areas like that, which really sort of means swampy areas. But the bushes are basically nearly solitary all the time. So to have like 5 or 6 of these, somebody had to travel around for days and days and days to harvest this many.
I'll chat with them for a moment, like, oh my goodness, you have 6 of the whatever they're called. The blooming dancers or something like that.
Sure. Yeah, the blooming dancers. Yeah, they're
6 blooming dancers. Oh my goodness! How did you say?
the guy says, well, you know, I gathered up a few of these from the swamp, but you know,
the swamp up north.
No, the one directly east of here.
But
Scale bulk. It's a dangerous place, you know, but
I hope
I
whoever
really
you're sending these to knows how to care for them, and they really need a lot of very, very
well, I don't know who we're
water
sending
and
them to,
earth, and they have to have enough phosphorus and.
I think, you know your flowers. That's
I'd like to try and casually check the ledger while she's doing
roll a deception.
All right.
And I will continue speaking about like,
okay,
oh my
yeah,
goodness,
he tells you that
it looks like you
he
have too much sand in this
gathered
mix.
a couple. Oh no, we never put any sand in there. The sand.
Natural one.
Dude, stop using that die.
Right.
Stop it.
Okay, so you go back over and
Since I was helping
bad
him,
die.
can he have advantage? That's how I usually
I'm gonna go with no because
Even though it doesn't matter if you roll a 1.
Well, no, it does.
It
if you have
does.
advantage.
Oh,
it
okay.
does.
All right.
It does.
I figured that just stopped the fun.
Because you're not actually talking to the owners. You're talking to one of the workers who was over here.
Oh, I'm not to be talking to the owners, but okay.
Okay, well the owners are like, no, we did, you know, we bought some of those from other stores, and then we had that big old burly bastard over there go get some out of Scale Bulk. When you go over to the ledger to look through, the gentleman comes over and he closes the book and says, that is not our appointment book, sir. That's a business ledger.
Oh, pardon.
It's fine. We've already got your name. We'll see you on all the good end.
Sounds good.
Yes.
That's me walking out.
Ta-ta, Baron. Okay.
Fare thee well.
Well, I hope whoever these are going to, you've got them going to good gardeners, right?
Mm-hmm. I just gather them for the people who
Well,
own this place. They sell
Okay, continuing conversation with the person that was actually interested in them.
Yeah, the one who actually harvested the ones out of Scale Bulk, the big burly
Okay.
bastard.
So they act like they don't know who they're going to?
He doesn't know. He just gathers the flowers. They arrange everything and they work with the clients. I'm not even allowed in the store when certain clients come in here.
Gotcha. Well,
Well, I mean,
But I love
obviously-
gardening, and I wouldn't trade it away for anything except maybe my own business. But, you know,
I'll chat with
times are
him
tough.
for a minute about super nerdy flowers.
Hey, are you interested in going into business? Because I got this idea for a flower shop.
If I get some free time, maybe. I'll let you know. Or if I run across any rare flowers, I'll let you know.
Great.
I'll order them.
Yeah.
I
Of course,
do-
we can't really talk about it in front of you know who
Yeah,
because
yeah.
They don't like they're pretty mean to their people.
I have some other people here in town. Do you know?
Do
Do you know the lady on the other side of town? Her name is I forgot what's her name.
are you talking about Oak Pit?
Yeah. Hold
No,
on.
he doesn't know her.
What's her name?
Oak Pit?
No, it's not.
No, it's not
Ogre.
Ogre the Bog Witch.
It's
That was Oakentooth.
something
Okay.
Oakentooth. Yeah.
Well, Oak Pit is the name of her little little
Yeah, the
hut.
oak pit, the
Oak
musky
Pit.
oak pit is
Yeah, the
the
musky
name
oak
of her shop, but she's like Brenda Oakentooth or something like that.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I don't think her name's Brenda.
or Magda or something like that.
I like Brenda.
I don't know.
Brenda knows
I
her
don't know, yeah.
herbs.
I don't know.
Well,
Can I write that down?
anyways,
Trust-
every now and
trust
then.
me.
I started
Brenda.
out for the tailor in hopes that she will be occupied by the time I get inside.
I'll tell them like real quietly, like every now and then I do like specialty runs for Magda on the other side of town
Mhm.
to like get some rare stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, if you ever have like a request or anything that you're needing, like help retrieving anything really rare, if you get any weird requests,
Mhm.
give us a call.
I'm Sally.
Procurement guild.
Like just shout your name or
Well, I'm
Send
talking
a
to
courier.
I'm talking quietly to the one guy,
yeah.
and I'm like,
But how should I
You just-
how should I call you? Just
Type it into
Sable
a
Guard.
pigeon.
Sable Guard. So you work
Oh.
at Sable Guard?
yeah, but shh.
I'm gonna write that down.
Don't let anybody know. Just on the down low.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because we're going into business. If you know any other elves, it would really help.
Really? What
Yeah.
else?
Well, because the name of my shop is gonna be 2 elves and a pot.
Okay.
I don't know 2 elves. That's really been the largest hurdle. I got some investors. I got a little bit of money saved up, but I just don't know 2 elves who want to go into business with me.
Yeah, I sure don't either.
Dang. Well,
But
listen, no, I'll keep you in mind
I
on the
don't know
rare,
a
on the
single
rare
I don't know
birds
a
and
single elf.
yeah, for do some freelancing. Okay.
stuff. Okay. All right. Bye.
Gotta get.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So the 2 of you are already over at the tailor's.
Okay.
At Versace and Son.
I approach the tailor shop.
Okay.
While we're doing the tailor thing, I'm gonna like make rounds around the market square
Okay.
and just sort of like keep an eye out for any buzzing about.
Okay. So any buzzings? Okay.
Okay.
So you guys, as you approach the tailor, the guy who is in the smartly dressed outfit and looks horribly uncomfortable, sort of scans the 2 of you and then opens the door for you and lets you in.
Okay.
Can I try to just like slide in behind
Let me
him
talk.
and see what happens?
Yes. Go ahead and roll a dexterity check.
As long as you promise not to be too arrogant when you talk. I
No
mean,
promises.
I just feel like
Well,
you should
real
be a
bad
little
Yeah.
delicate. Okay.
All right. So Arister,
Just be a little
Kethra,
delicate area.
you guys go inside. You hear the gentle jingle jangle of the door as it closes right behind you. Makaria, the doorman, is standing in front of you, and he says, "I'm sorry, miss. Are you lost?"
I'm with them.
I don't believe that's true. They haven't even noticed that you haven't come in.
Should we roll perception?
Just keep my head down.
You can roll perception if you like.
Yeah, go back. Can I hear her through the door? Like,
Nope. You can't see her either because the guy has stepped in front of the
I'll
door.
pick you up. I'm sorry, wait.
Is he like 7 feet tall?
I'll
Like
put it right now.
Yeah, he's pretty big. He's taller than you. He looks like he does not belong in the suit he's wearing. I'll put it that way. You're pretty sure he can hold his own in a fist fight. Now, if you're going to pull a sword on him, that's different. But keep in mind, you are also in a high security area.
I wouldn't pull a sword on him, but I would be really interested in finding out how good he is.
Okay. All right. So, Arister,
There's
you
your
walk
guy
in.
come back out.
Walk in.
Yeah, there are 2.
They're in the box.
There are 2 men
Just like
who are silently folding
protection here.
clothes and measuring like bits of cloth.
Okay.
They are dressed nearly identical, and one of them looks to be like the other one, but like 15 years in the future.
Okay, is this Versace and Son?
It is a safe
Appears.
assumption to
Okay.
make that this is Versace and Son.
Then I will approach and say, "Hail, good sir."
Both of them look at you over the cloth that they're working on, and then they say, they kind of size you up and down, and they say, "What is the occasion?"
Promotion ceremony. I am being honored with the position of Knight Commander.
Oh, excellent, most excellent, and congratulations to you.
My uniform has not been worn in some time, and I'm afraid the midsection has, let's just say it needs more accommodation.
The older one says, "Cavalry or infantry?"
Cavalry.
Ah, so you're wearing the vest with the 3 buttons. Good.
Of course.
I know how to pull that out without making the pockets look oversized. It'll take me a little bit of time. Of course, I could speed that up if price is no object.
We'll talk. My ceremony's not for a week. Do you think you could have it done before then?
I'm sure I could. Do you have the uniform with you?
I do not. I was going to have it sent over after you took my measurements.
Okay. Actually, I'll have my son take your measurements. I'm quite busy with this extremely exotic cloth here that came from somewhere else.
I see. Well, very well.
Do they have any dresses or anything? Like, do they have any clothes?
Oh yeah,
on
no.
right?
This is like
Okay.
Any
you
obvious
have
wedding
you
dresses?
have seen no. You don't see anything that looks like a wedding gown.
Okay.
But you have seen outfits like this at like official like balls and stuff. Like this is not something that you wear to a dinner party. Nothing in here is anything less than full on formal wear.
Okay.
Right? Like all the male outfits have like 17 layers, and all the female outfits are just like a huge poofy dress that is super skinny in the middle, and no human being can actually fit in it.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn into a 16-year-old girl.
Okay.
And
There's lots of beautiful things to touch.
stop paying attention
Yeah.
to that conversation whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, because I've never seen anything
Oh,
like
yeah,
this,
yeah.
ever.
Yeah, and
this
they've
is
got cloths in here that shine like metal,
yeah, like I'm,
but are just
oh,
absolute
yeah.
airy light.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's every color you can think
The
of.
sparkly is just like all over the place.
Yeah, and then so the son starts taking your measurements. He's very brisk about it. Like
Okay.
he doesn't. You get the sense that he does this all the time, and that he doesn't really need the tape measure. He's just doing it to make you feel comfortable. But he could probably
Sure.
just eyeball you and tell you exactly how big you are.
Fair enough. It will take a while for me to unarmor and re-armor.
Wait, I thought you were just wearing like the black tabard over your street clothes so that you looked like a.
No, I got tabards over the armor.
Over which armor?
My older armor, not my fancy paladin armor.
Oh, okay, all right. So
It's like World of War.
okay, well then, yeah.
I did it on purpose so that it would take a hot minute to get it on.
Yeah, as soon as he goes to take your measurements or whatever, and he notices that the armor's still on, he's like,
It will
"Could
take
you
some time.
Remove your armor, sir."
Yes, please, if you'd assist me.
Certainly. And he claps once, and some guy just comes out of the coat rack. Like you didn't notice there was a third guy in there,
Third guy.
and he just like melts out and begins helping you unbuckle things. And he's actually got this little
I will
cart.
strike up conversation with Ann's son.
Okay.
Mr. Ann's son. Tell me, do you happen to have wedding dresses? Any recently made ones in
Nope.
stock? You haven't.
Well, our clientele, we don't. Our clientele are very picky, and everything is custom.
I see.
We don't keep spare wedding dresses around.
You haven't made any custom wedding dresses lately.
No, we have not.
If I was to look for a shop where a young lady would wish to find one.
Based on the look on the face of your rather young consort, I would say that this is the place to bring someone who would be shopping for a wedding dress.
Well, I have to admit to you that I come here under false pretenses.
I figured as much. I'm not sure that a cavalry officer. We don't get too many knight commanders, but as I understand it, there are only about 6 total.
Soon to be 7.
Sure.
Well, my sister has recently taken off with a wealthy young individual.
Okay.
And I am searching for her. This person with me is a priestess.
I see.
My mother has very, very greatly disapproved of this pairing.
This pairing, of course, I could see.
No,
why.
the priestess is to,
Whoa!
shall we say, apprehend
No.
my wayward sister and take her to
No.
a nunnery.
No.
Well, we don't have any. We don't have any priestess habits here. They tend to want their stuff made out of coarser materials.
I
that we
believe
provide.
that the young gentleman will have paid for some sort of dress because they plan on eloping, as far as I'm to understand.
Well, I
searching the shops.
I can't speak to that. We have a very strict client privacy process here.
I see.
However, I can tell you that no one has ordered a wedding dress, and if they did, we would absolutely need to see the young miss in order to make sure that the wedding dress fulfills and exceeds all of her expectations. A wedding is, after all, once in a lifetime. Shall we call it a dream?
That's true. So, you wouldn't be able to bend this privacy policy?
I can tell you that no one has ordered a wedding dress, but I would not be able to tell you what our clients order.
Very well. All right. Well, go ahead and take my measurements because I do plan on getting a new uniform.
Excellent. I've already got most of them. If you'll just finish taking off the armor, I'll be able to get the rest.
Very well. I unshuck.
All right.
Are there any price tags?
Nothing in here has a price tag on
Did I
it.
get any
I'm
signs
looking.
that
I just want to see
that this guy was like
if they have any.
hasn't worked on a wedding dress
These
in a
are
while,
really
or was
pretty.
bullshitting me?
Well, somebody here works on dresses because about half of the store is full of just amazing formal nightgowns. I mean,
Right.
like evening wear gowns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They also said that their clients they don't keep spare wedding dresses around. So it's not like someone could just come in and shop for a wedding dress. Someone would have to come in and know what they wanted. And
So if
order.
she came in, she would have had to come in to get measurements taken
Right.
at some point.
Right.
He did say he was working on some super fancy silks.
True. But so I'm basically though, did anyone get any measurements for a wedding dress? He basically told me no.
He has told you no one has ordered a wedding dress.
Okay.
But it could
Not from his store anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so the older gentleman appears next to Kethra. He's finished measuring or whatever he was doing with the exotic cloth. He is looking at you over the rim of his glasses.
I'm just.
Please do not paw at the material.
It's just so.
If you would like to see one of the dresses, I can have somebody help you.
Well, I can see them right now. I'm not. They're right there. These are really pretty.
Yes.
I didn't know cloth could feel like this.
Most people don't.
Like, this is amazing.
You said you didn't know it could feel like this?
No, I didn't know it could feel like this. I'm a priest.
Oh, I see.
No.
Well, not sort of the regular clientele that we get around here. You see him looking over your head, and you guys hear the dinging of the doorbell. The doorman says, "Excuse me," for a moment, and he goes into the store. The doorman comes in and stands in the doorway. The older guy says, "And you're with the night commander?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So you're shopping for him.
Well, yeah, with him
Okay.
while he's shopping.
Please don't touch any of the dresses.
I can't touch it.
Not any of them. Not a single one. Please don't.
But I can look at them, right?
Yes. In fact, why don't you just step back a little and look at them from there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So he goes back to working. You hear the guy, the doorman, like sort of clear his throat behind you, and when you kind of look over at him, like he lets you know that he is watching you, like he's watching.
Okay.
All right, so
Not
you
gonna steal
finish
it.
doffing your armor. The young Versace, he finishes the few measurements that he, using a tape measure. He warns you at one point you will feel a slight pressure. And he takes the
So my first time getting measured.
the most important measurement that
Right.
that is necessary for comfortable
The
evening
inseam.
wear.
What is
Yes,
that? What are
the
you guys
inseam.
talking about? What does that mean? What is that?
A gentleman's inseam.
I just don't know.
Yeah, the younger Versace just kind of eyeballs you for a second and then goes back to measure.
I will need some additional upper leg room.
Yeah, he
I have sizable
he
quads.
chicken scratches on his little pad or whatever. He
my
takes down
God.
some measurements.
I literally have the presidential pant order in my head. You guys know what I'm talking about? No.
Okay.
Later.
Yeah, later. Okay, so he finishes with the measurements. He asks you when you'll have the uniform delivered.
Tomorrow morning.
Excellent. I'll write you down. Knight Commander
Arister.
Orleans. Knight Commander Arister.
Did you write below average on the inseam?
All the rest of it looks like doctor's writing. It's like scratches. It's like Taylor's notes and stuff. Like, so you don't know what all the letters and everything mean, but there's there's a little arrow that starts going out, but then just hangs down
Mm-hmm.
to the left.
Telling me.
Good. And right next to it, you write, 3.4 plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to do some more walking.
That wasn't like a measurement. That was like a rating.
I see.
Out of 10.
Out of 5. I'll take above average.
Okay, so so you guys finish there. The doorman basically opens the door to let you guys out, even though you're not really standing near the door yet. You've already donned your armor again. The guy helps you, and then he basically walks towards a door that's sort of on the side of the building or side of the office space or whatever. But then just moves over and starts like folding some clothing.
Let's see. So I can't see into the workroom or anything?
No, you're on the dress floor, and basically every time somebody goes into the back area of the building or whatever, you just barely catch it as the door's closing again. So there's not much back there.
Can we see there when we walked in what kind of fabric that they were looking at?
Oh yeah, it looked like a really satiny sort of, and it was like a dark blue.
Okay.
It was very satiny. It was super billowy.
Okay.
Okay, so the doorman allows you to leave, and you guys head out onto the street where Macaria is waiting,
I've been
possibly patiently. He follows you out and then closes the door behind him and then just sort of stands in front of the door.
So
I'll meet
while
up
they
with
were
my
in
crew.
there,
Uh-huh.
I was saying things like, "You look like you work out."
How much you
That's
live,
just very-
Bob?
yeah, just like yeah, totally. So then when he comes out, I'm like, I had it. I had you covered. I was watching the door. No one came in.
You roll a charisma.
She is
Roll
a
a charisma check. Roll charisma.
gotta give her a chance to bro up with
Oh,
the guard.
It's gonna be bad.
Seduction roll.
It's gonna be so bad. It wasn't that bad. It was an 11. It wasn't
Okay.
as bad as I thought it would be.
You think at one point you see a slight smirk on his face, but otherwise there is no crack in his stoic face.
Oh, not even a bro nod?
Nope, not even a bro nod.
Oh.
It's fine. I know.
Not with an
I know.
11.
We got something. We had
It was when you asked him if he worked out. He just very slightly, and then went back to not caring about you.
I've been skipping about the square.
Okay,
What do I find?
merchant shops, people shopping,
But
waifs.
crazy.
Actually, there's only a few waifs. Most of the waifs have been corralled and put in cages, and then
I'm also
quarters
keeping an
and
eye out for
Good cause.
they're released into the wild.
Violetta and Olivia.
So chubby.
Okay, Olivia.
I'm keeping an eye out for them. I also, if there's a jewelry shop or anything like that.
There are more than one jeweler shops.
Okay. I
This
probably
is
already
like-
did like a whole pass
imagine-
around and
yeah.
came back to the tailor shop and was like, "What is taking them so long?"
So imagine that you're super rich and you want to do all your shopping in one day and then brag about how you got all your shopping done in one day.
Of
You would
course.
go to a street that had only the fanciest of everything for sale.
Okay.
This is that street.
Right, and I am keeping an eye out for them.
Cool.
I don't see them.
No?
Okay. And when I get back over to the tailor shop,
Uh-huh.
are they back out?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm standing right there,
Yep.
looking around.
I'm
Wave
there as well.
Wave at you.
Looking
How much would one of those
Is it-
those dresses in that cost?
So
How much-
More than all
How much
5 of us combined could ever afford.
did they know anything?
Well, they haven't. Either they were lying to me, or they haven't worked on any wedding dresses.
We should have rolled insight money right now.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah, why didn't you roll insight,
can roll it
Arister?
I'll roll it down to see if the guy
Mm.
was lying to me. Dirty 20.
He was not lying to you.
Okay.
There was nothing about his demeanor that suggested that he was being false with you.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Well-
he said he wasn't making a wedding dress. That doesn't mean
No one
like,
ordered one.
Well, no,
I,
or
I asked
what
if
if-
someone came in to get fitted.
Oh,
Yeah,
fitted
he
for wedding.
I
said...
was looking for my sister, and I
Yeah,
wanted
he-
to know if this girl of a certain description came in to get
Right.
fitted.
He
Oh.
said that no one has ordered a dress and that if anyone had ordered a wedding dress, they would insist that Versace and Son would insist that the woman needs to come to the store so they can get proper measurements.
Right.
Well, what if
They're not just going to slap a wedding dress together for a rich person.
Yeah, but what if
That's a quick way to bankruptcy right there.
It's possible they are using some sort of familial dress,
what if they were using a family dress?
or they hired a different tailor, or
Right.
Is that a
Somebody
thing?
to
Do
go
rich
on the
people do
estate.
that?
Can I ask,
Yeah.
are we getting close to whatever the midday time was that the guy was going to be waiting for
Yeah,
us?
yeah.
Because I would like
it'll
to
be,
talk to him.
It'll be sexed within a half hour.
okay.
Okay, so you are you have gotten. Okay, so
I guarantee that would not end
what
well.
is who's got the lowest intelligence here?
Oh man,
Maybe me.
probably me.
Probably me.
Nope. That's not too bad.
I've
Yeah.
got 11.
11.
10.
11, 10. Okay.
Zero.
All right. So
I'm 12. Am I the smartest
You're
person
the
in the
smart
group?
guy.
You're the smartest
Holy
one.
shit.
brain and bronze. You're a double
That's
threat. You're a double threat. Okay.
I don't ever
Perceptive
make a
as
guy.
hell, but I don't know what I'm perceiving.
I don't ever
Yeah.
make a guy with +0 intelligence bonus.
Yeah.
Always 12 or higher.
Yeah. Okay. So
I got
Um,
wisdom.
you guys
Yeah, we're all pretty wise.
would
We're
know that there are a couple of things that could influence this whole entire business. If they are trying to marry in secret, they are not going to make a big deal out of it by going to places where their
True.
rival would also have access to.
It's
to
good to
ask
eliminate
questions.
these things.
Right. Okay. So it's possible that they have gone to another table. Like they wouldn't go to Versace and Sons because Renaud Castellani would check that place. They might go down to his and hers DreamWorks or whatever and get their tuxes and stuff there.
Barnaby and Brothers.
Right.
So can we canvass all of the dress shops in town?
It would take you more than a day.
I'm going back to talk to Dagan.
Yes,
Megan?
I'm also.
Is that the Dragon's Teardrop? That's where he's going to meet you guys.
Okay, well, I'm supposed to meet him, right? It's supposed to be me.
It should at least be you. Okay. Anyone else can go, but it should at least be you.
One day I'm going to duel that man to the death. I'm not
Okay.
sure why, but it's going to happen.
This
Well-
is an itch that I will eventually scratch.
I mean, we both looked each other in the eyes and felt the need to kill one another. It's just something that happens among swordsmen. I don't know.
I suspect
is-
that he's
it is-
When
involved
he
in
saw
this,
us, I
like-
had done all the work.
Yeah, but
Darn it.
he was just finishing up, so Dagan made the only assumption that a swordsman could make. Besides, you were doing all your killing in the back in the dark. If you'd have been in the
I
front.
told him what my name was
Yeah.
in the fight.
Yeah, and he was
like, he knows
super
me.
boisterous
I'm
and
just saying,
loud.
I'm gonna be real pissed about it. I did all the work.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
Well,
You want to tell him that you beat the crap out of like all of his knights?
Yes.
Okay. Feel free.
I think Dagan's two-faced anyways, so it's not like his what is it?
Yeah.
His prestige is worth anything.
You know,
It's
you know, how,
like,
you know how those redheads are. Untrustworthy to the core.
Yeah, I heard that.
I mean,
I did.
yeah.
I heard that.
Those old fire crotches. You know they are.
Wow.
All right, so what?
fair enough.
Dagan, I invented Dagan. I can tell you right now that his pubes match his eyebrows.
Whoa.
What?
Just
That's
his
what we're gonna
eyebrows.
find out.
Well, fine.
Like-
Kethra, roll
He
perception.
dies.
As Steven's entire childhood flashes before his
No, Kefir refuses to roll perception.
Whenever you're talking to Dagan, you're just like, la 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 la.
Okay, we're gonna head to the inn, or
Yeah, you guys get to the Dragon's Teardrop. Dagan is standing outside. He looks perturbed.
okay. I
Seems
walk
about
up.
normal.
I approach.
Hello.
Dagan,
Yes,
I've arrived.
I know. We need to go somewhere else.
Why?
I don't know. They're really mad at me and they won't let me in. I got shooed out by an old woman with a
Mayhap.
broom.
It was due to the events of a few days ago.
I tried to apologize for that. That got out of hand. And I told them that, but they're angry with me And we don't want too many. We don't want to make this too public. It's embarrassing.
There
for
is
my
a
employers. So
nearby inn
yeah, let's go there.
to the was it the Copper Kettle?
Yeah.
It was the Copper
It
Kettle.
was
yeah.
the Copper Kettle.
All right, you guys head over to the Copper Kettle.
Yeah.
He's all right. We'll start meeting at the Copper Kettle
Very well.
until I can figure out. You know, I'll get my employer, Mr. Castellani, to help me figure out what's going on with the Dragon's Teardrop.
So I'd like to know if the family has any like really close knit family friends that are like, you know, maybe other high level merchants that are confidants
Sir,
or anything.
Are you asking Dagan if the Castellani family have
Not the
family
Castellani
friends?
family, the Renaud.
Renaud's?
Yeah. If he knows of any.
So
friendships.
he's not. So he gives you the impression that while he is a trusted lieutenant of Adel Castellani, he's also an employee, and you don't get invited to most of the parties when you're an employee. But his impression of that society, that level of society, is that none of them have any friends. Everything is for politics and for show.
Is there another big family though?
Besides the Renauds and the Castellani.
Yeah,
it's
not,
probably
not that he's aware of, but it,
Probably
it
not
could just
shipping,
be right.
but
It
yeah.
could just be that that's because that's what his business is to know the Castellanis and they hate the Renauds.
Yeah, I'd like to ask
I mean,
David a question. Do you have any dealings with the Castellani daughters?
no, they are off limits.
I would like to roll insight on that.
Okay,
I will give you my report now.
okay.
It seems like they are trying to keep the affair somewhat small. They're avoiding shops that they would normally use.
That makes
there
perfect sense.
is an event in 2 days, we have heard. However, we're not sure where it is.
It's the Renauds are hosting an event, or there's just an event.
They're hosting it because
The host is not known because the host is
their kitchen staff is doing the.
being kept hidden. However, we do suspect that it is them.
so
We need to find
do
we
you
need to find Olivier.
Indeed.
for real, like, just if you had to guess where she might be, where would you think?
I think Olivier's got her stashed somewhere.
I would concur.
He wouldn't keep her on the family grounds because that's too
Yeah,
obvious.
but you
And
guys
you wouldn't take her down to the
have
docks
intel.
because she's, a very beautiful young woman, and it's dangerous to take beautiful young women to places like that.
Exactly.
So he's probably got some sort of a love nest, is a greasy, slimy love nest somewhere. Those
Okay.
Renauds are horrible womanizers.
In the fancy part of town, or do you think they'd go
Well,
somewhere
you
else?
can, you'd be surprised where you can find greasy love nests.
Right.
I mean, all over.
I would definitely be surprised.
What's a greasy love?
I don't
Right.
I've never set foot in a greasy love nest.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
mean,
familiar with that district.
There
is
is
that upper
a
Puddington?
type of bird that secretes an oil
Yeah.
when they do their.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically, greasy love nests only build a nest in order to procreate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So I am using
Oh.
slang that would indicate that he has a place where he takes women to bang.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, I was trying to spare your sensibilities, but clearly you don't have any.
Greasy love nest is very clean.
Well,
Clearly.
perhaps he has taken one or two ladies of the evening to said love nest.
You did say he frequents the gentleman's establishment.
Yeah, you can call him that.
Um,
Yeah, we need to find him. I think, I mean, I can't help you because I'm too close to Castellani, but you guys should snatch him up and knock it out.
But kind of off the record.
We'll do that.
What are you guys gonna do when you get her back? Isn't she just gonna run off again? I mean, like, how do you stop somebody who's like super intent? I mean, even if she's being lied to, we could try to figure that out. But like, kids are real hard to control.
That is no lie. I will tell you right now that over half of my job duties are wrangling those daughters. They are a handful.
Would her sisters know?
I don't think so. They're all pretty catty with each other. I mean, I don't know. They might talk.
They might gossip. Yeah.
They might talk, but I don't. I'm not assigned to any of the sisters, so
Could we arrange a meeting with the sisters?
I can run that by Adel. Yeah. We could see if they know. I mean, I'm sure he would want to question them though.
If you could have either you could or Adel could bring one of the daughters this evening to our guild hall, and we could speak with her. And if they bring some sort of object of Violetta's, that would be very helpful. Something that she wears, something that would help me to track her down.
I will try. That sounds like a good plan.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know that it'll happen tonight.
Well,
I don't really get to tell my boss when and where to take his daughter's places.
I'm just saying we have 2 days, apparently, to try to bring this to a conclusion.
Listen,
And it's not happening.
Olivier's
so
getting married,
we're
right?
super
He's got to have a
helpful.
bachelor party, right?
Perhaps.
Could be.
Find him, knock his friends around, put him in a carriage, ride him out someplace, punch him until he tells you where she is. I mean, I do it myself, but I can't.
Do you know?
We're
who
trying
his
to keep
friends
this under
are?
wraps.
And where
Do
would
know-
you go?
Yeah. Do you know
Yeah,
where
he runs with a pack of like-minded imbeciles.
Do
Miscreants.
you know any of
names?
them?
Yeah, names.
Wealthy miscreants or
Oh.
poor miscreants?
I don't. A little bit of both.
I mean, we can't-
He needs.
I mean,
You know,
guys
he's
have
got
done
wealthy
research
friends
on
because of his
family.
background, but he also needs friends who know their way around those parts of the cities. Otherwise, he would get mugged.
It seems as if there must be needing to be a return of Shadow Arister.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what that means, but
It's
I don't want to know.
I break out my disguise kit. I'm like, all right.
He's
let's
quite
see it.
the miscreant himself.
In answer to your earlier question, how Adel plans to keep his daughter away from Olivier is not my concern, nor is it my business, and I would never insert myself into family business like that. However, I honestly believe that once she realizes that Olivier is only using her for her father's money, young girls can be fickle. And
What?
as soon as they feel spurned,
Not all young girls.
Parental control
I didn't
tends
say
to
all
bring
young
out
girls, and I
the-
didn't
I'm
say-
okay with that. Okay, maybe that's a good point.
Okay,
and I didn't say they
okay.
are, I said they can be.
Okay.
I'm just
Young
speaking-
boys can be fickle too. They grow out of it around 6.
I'm just speaking from experience. But
After that, they pretty much just want the same thing all the time.
parental demands tend to bring out the obstinance in teenage girls.
Oh, I know. I'm a father myself.
So, you know how it is. I wanted to know what sort of state she might be in when we try to take her away from this person she thinks
She's probably
in love
going to
with.
cry and kick and scream
Of
and
course,
scratch.
of course.
And do what all teen girls do when you tell them that they can't love the boy of the week.
Uh-huh.
Well, we are most likely going to search the docks again this evening.
Great. Remember, he's got curly blonde hair.
Okay.
He laughs like a donkey.
Oh, don't worry. We'll find him this time.
Good.
Anything that you can give me of hers would be very helpful.
I will attempt to do that.
As soon as possible.
In the
I'm
meantime,
gonna
plan
take her
A
home.
is find Olivier. Find
Okay.
Violetta.
Okay. We're
Trust
not
me,
gonna
we-
Violetta.
we have our
That's
methods.
bad.
Great.
Very
We were-
compelling methods.
Already
So
kicked
no-
out of one place. Let's not work on another.
What are you talking about? We're
Dragons to a drop
This
won't
is-
let us
this
back
is the
in.
secret.
Yeah.
symbol that means punch a man.
That sounds very
exactly
sacred.
right.
It's
It's
gut.
It's
If
not
the
very
rest of
secret.
you will
Red
recall,
Sea.
last time we questioned someone, it went quite well.
I don't remember.
Are you sure? Were you the only one who was there, Aristotle?
Oh,
'Cause
right,
I don't
right.
remember either.
Yeah,
We're
that
talk-
went really
I'm
well.
sure he's referring to Ceres, who was hiding a magical dagger in her business.
Oh yeah, I don't think I was there.
I was there.
Yeah.
Actually,
Regardless.
Vesper was not there.
Yeah.
Vesper was not there.
It went quite well.
I listened in.
Okay, so we will stop here.
Okay.
Good session, everybody. Our next phase is to find Olivier and also meet up later this evening, possibly with Dagon possibly to retrieve something that belongs to Violetta that may make tracking her a bit easier.
Yeah,
Excellent.
since
Um,
we seem to be coming up absolutely and totally empty-handed.
Yeah. Well, not absolutely and totally empty-handed.
We've
You guys
eliminated
know-
possible potential things.
Yeah, you guys
This is how
know
investigations
that
work.
something
Could have been
is
out
happening
shopping.
at the Renaud
Yeah, but
place
they weren't
this weekend.
because they're in hiding.
But it's not. It's apparently not a wedding.
Right.
Okay. But you know something's happening at the Renaud.
It could be a
Estate.
reception post-wedding. There's nothing to fear.
It could be all kinds of things.
We just need the location of the wedding, which is
Could
why we
be
gotta
a-
find Curly and then
Cultist.
straighten him out.
Yeah.
What if we just found Curly and then got him really drunk?
Well, we're gonna
anyone
go to their
notice-
offices at the docks, probably try to steal something of his so I can track him down.
My excellent pun.
Yes, find Curly and straighten him out.
Yeah.
I noticed. I was laughing
Thanks, bud.
incredibly on the inside.
It was good. I don't usually
My-
come up with zingers.
Yeah, that's some A material right there.
Yeah, it's great A material.
Okay, so next week is going to be our third week, and then we'll have an off week after that. So next week we will pick up with Plan A and also partially Plan B. We have to wait for Dagan to come back with something for Plan B to be a viable plan, but we do have a Plan A. Go back to the docks / the Esplanade / the Strand if you guys are willing to go into super dark area,
I'm willing to go into the
super-
darkest of dark areas.
super seedy area
I'm
too.
not scared.
Shadow Arister knows
I'm not
no
scared.
back.
I can be a dog or a cat. Yeah.
You shouldn't be. Okay.
I don't really know
Um,
enough about CD areas.
I'm going back
I
to
would
the
be okay
forest.
with it.
Shadow Arister.
Yeah,
knows
you're
all
just
about
like
CD areas.
seedy.
Well,
What? Like
oh,
the
cool.
gardens and stuff? Those are seedy areas.
I've been out on the streets
I can
enough
also
already.
pass locate object 2 more times today, so
Excellent. Okay,
I
so
can
we'll pick up
search
just
through
after
places.
high noon next time.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
and
All
if
right, thanks everybody for joining us. I hope you had a good time watching the show, and we will see you next week. And Mom, if you're still watching, I will catch you later.